Hello, welcome everyone. Hope you're having a great day so far. We welcome you to the 10th edition of the Alpha X series special. I'm your caster Snoopy, and joining me, of course, as always, is Acontisas.
I'm glad to be here as always, and I hope this is gonna be fine. Our player list is it's so stacked. This is gonna be great. I'm already sure of it. Like our first match is already gonna be like a bloodbath, probably.
Yeah. Actually, let's go ahead and bring up the bracket here. As you can see, we have Ragnarok versus Creator in our first semifinals. ZVP there, and then in the bottom bracket, the second semifinals will be Zest versus Time, which will be a Protoss versus Terran.
Oh yeah. Well, I really struggle a lot to find some good predictions for how these games are gonna go, but I really I'm really eager to get into our first match. Like Ragnarok versus Creator, very even matchup. Like those two guys are so close in skill. Like I probably feel like Ragnarok is a little bit better. Like Creator is one of those players you are never too sure if he's in shape or not until he gets into a game. And if he's in shape, like he has so many different set of skills. He's so versatile, and he can do like early game good. He can do aggression good. He's extremely good at late game, and I feel like his late game is looked very down upon for some weird reasons. I feel like his late game is nuts. But yeah, we're gonna see how this is gonna end. Like already starting off in Eternal Empire, it's gonna be a pretty standard first map for this series.
Yeah, and looks like looks like you'll be facing against Ragnarok here. No, I'm just
Uh,
like
yeah,
he's
I
got to
mean,
pull you down there.
like he's gonna face my Terran as well, which is not very good to say the least. But okay, I'm gonna play it.
Okay, there we go. There we go.
All right, that's better. I'm right where I belong.
Yeah. By the way,
You
guys,
ready?
if you don't know what the Alpha X Series Special is, it's basically a four player invitational, and we have two semifinals. Each of them are a best of five, and then the winners of those will advance to the finals, in which they will play a best of seven, and that will determine who will be the winner. And of course, the prize pool breakdown is going to be right here. Third to fourth place will end up going home with $20 minimum base prize. Second place runner up will go home with a minimum base prize of $40, and then of course first place will go home with a minimum base prize of $120. Now, if you guys do want to help out with the prize pool, there is a little Matcherino link down below in the info section. Just head on over there and then enter the coupon code AXCOM160, and that will add 50 cents for free to the overall prize pool. So while you do that, let's go ahead and get started. All right, why don't you go ahead and do the honors of introducing our first player here.
Oh, I'm very happy to do this because in the top right hand corner, spawning as the blue Zerg player, playing for Alpha Hex, hailing from Korea, it is our very own Ragnarok.
And spawning here at the bottom left corner of the map is the red Protoss player. He's from Generic Green Wings. It is Creator.
And we already have an edge block from Creator. I didn't quite check the timing of the Prop Scout, but I guess this was like even before Pylon. Eternal Empire is quite a big map. So Yeah, he sent this probe very early out just to block that archery from coming down from Ragnarok. And he's of course gonna just put in the third, but yeah, it is annoying. It is very annoying. And it's a perfect setup for Glaives as well.
Yeah. And you know what? It's a little bit adjustments for Ragnarok. Wolf placed down that third base, or actually the second base, down at the
Yeah.
base area. And then we shall see soon him plotting down his third on the second base natural area.
It is it is more hurtful on some maps than others. Like, it is not the worst thing that could happen to you on Eternal Empire. Eternal Empire is pretty big. You still have two different ramps to defend upon. You're still probably gonna try to get an early third base just because you can. And there is only one good spot to place the third. So it could be worse. Like, I'm thinking of something like maybe, I don't know, Pillars of Gold, where like placing your natural at the third base, it is very exposed. It is a very bad position, but right here on Eternal Empire, not the biggest of deals. It's just annoying. It's very annoying.
Yeah. But you know what? These Lings are gonna clean it up. Oh wow! You can throw down a cheeky pylon to block it further, even longer.
Creator just wants to piss off Ragnarok right now.
It's those little plays that really kind of gets under your skin sometimes.
Yeah. He's also sending down the first Adept. Probably gonna go straight into the main just to check for a early lair conning, which is not gonna be there for now. Also gonna snag one Zergling. Never hurts. With his Stargate opener, he's gonna start out his first Oracle of the game. And yeah, not many better maps than Eternal Empire to get a Stargate opener, but Ragnarok has sent quite a few Zerglings down the map, and he's actually making way more. It looks like he wants to just break down this wall, get in, and get as much damage as possible. Of course, his Oracle is probably gonna be forced to use a bunch of the energy to get these Zerglings away. The sub-ending score survives as of now, but Ragnarok is sending so many Zerglings now. He was pissed, but I bet Creator is way more pissed than he was. Sub-ending score goes down, and at the moment Creator is not making another one. He's trying to get on top of this pylon. Ragnarok is gonna get one more pylon. The Oracle is out of energy. These two Adepts are trying to do their best. The first one is gonna come down through the map to get his Zergling down, but he will go down instead. And Creator is already spending so many resources to keep this wall up. Pylon goes down, and that's a lot of important structures unpowered. These Zealot will not come out for the moment. It looks like Creator has held, and Ragnarok is quite a lean on this. So if Creator does indeed hold completely, this is gonna be a GG, but it looks like Ragnarok is doubling it down. He's sending even more Zerglings. Here's one gateway. It's badly bruised. There is one pylon under attack right now. 3 Zerglings on top of it. The Oracle has energy again for a couple more snipes. This one Adept has 22 kills right now. The gateway is about to go down, and Creator cannot block that fairly well. There is a hole in the middle of that. The Oracle is gonna come down. The third one is gonna try to stop the Zerglings, but Ragnarok is sending even more. There's another Zealot out. It will probably go down very fast if Creator decides to not send them in. Okay, Ragnarok destroys the wall, but right now 3 Zealots, 3 Oracles, and an Adept right there. No way you can get in, it looks. Creator is gonna get game number 1 of this series. Oh, that was a roller coaster.
Yeah, that was really well done. Held defense there by Creator. I mean, if it was me, if I was in his shoes, I would have died to that a long time ago. That was the one hell of a wall off.
And you know, like, trying to wall off multiple times on these kind of very tiny natural bases, like at least distance from the Nexus to the wall, it becomes very, very hard, because as you can see in the end, like, the last structure that Creator was placing was just a tiny bit to the right to the plates on which you can't build. And like, if Ragnarok just had, I don't know, like probably 10 more Zerglings, the game would be completely over. And making those zealots continuously, not even replacing the cybernetics core, doubling down with the gateways, sending the oracles right in and making more oracles. Yeah, Creator has made a lot of tough choices, and all of them were right.
All right, second game here will be on Pillars of Gold.
And starting off in the bottom left-hand corner of this map is the blue Protoss player currently leading this series. He, Creator.
And spawning here at the top right corner of the map is the red Zerg player from the team of Alpha X. Hailing from Korea, it is Ragnarok.
Playing on his alt account, it looks like. Interesting. I didn't even know he had an alt account. We were talking about this earlier, but well.
Yeah. You don't imagine that, you know, being that we're from Korea and he plays on Korea, that he would just log on to his main account.
Yeah, at least for a tournament. Well, whatever.
But we're not gonna bother him about that.
Definitely not. And well, while being an old, it's still a 6.3k account. Creator currently sits at a 6.4k on Korean Ladder. Not that it matters too much. Korean Ladder is quite a nasty place. Like, at least in Grandmaster, players are like so skilled, so many barcodes. It is very hard to climb at like the crazy high number. Like some European players have like 7.3k. That's something that's never gonna happen in Korea.
I mean, unless Cyril plays.
You know what? Do you think Cyril will be like? Currently in Europe is like 7.4k or something. Do you think he could do that on Korea?
Really you know
Really
what?
tough.
It'll be tough, but I think it's possible. But it'll definitely be tough. I mean, you know, the Korean ladder, I think has historically been stronger, but I think there's been a closing of the gap between Europe and Korea. So, I mean, it'll still be hard because you're facing against, you know, the highest of levels of players. But yeah, it'll definitely be interesting to see if he does that one day.
Well, he doesn't play ladder a lot, so it will be just a dream probably. But yeah, who knows? Maybe he will. Like, he doesn't like playing with ping. That's why he doesn't do that. Like, he has explained this multiple times.
Yeah, I guess that's why he also doesn't play in a lot of online tournaments.
Yeah, doesn't play ladder a lot. Like, he screens a lot. Like, yes, some players he screens with, but he doesn't really play a lot of ladder. I mean, it makes sense. Like, hitting Cyril on ladder means you're either gonna lose 9 points or you're gonna win like 60. So
Yeah.
I guess it makes sense. Unlike some other top end players, like, I don't know, Drogo, Lambo, Raynor, these guys stream a lot. But yeah, let's talk a little bit about this game. We've seen Creator started off with his signature play. It's gonna be a Stargate opener. And he already has a Phoenix out. This time, not gonna be an Oracle first to keep these overlords out of his lone. One of the overlords of Ragnarok, you can see in the top left side of the map, is trying to escape. And I guess it makes sense now, since Creator is doubling down. Second Stargate is gonna come, and that Phoenix is gonna completely prevent this from being scouted.
No, I really like this double Stargate play, especially since you do have the Phoenix to kind of scare away the Overlord, so it doesn't scout it. This really can catch Ragnarok by surprise. If you do not prepare for it against the double Phoenix play, it can kind of snowball real quick.
But right now, this one scouting Zergling from Ragnarok just passed past a Phoenix that was inside. So he knows there are probably 2 Phoenixes. I don't think he feels like that was the first one. I mean, it could be it. But he has a tiny bit of information to try to guess. He's starting a very early lair as well, so he's gonna probably have a little bit of an earlier Spire. He has enough gas to drop down a Spire. Yeah, he has 5 gases. He's gonna drop a Spire. That's already some very good reactions from Ragnarok. Oh, Hydra then. Huh, I didn't think about that. Do you think it's better or not?
I mean, I think in the early game, the Phoenix can have the kind of the jump on the Hydralisk because you just don't have enough gas to produce enough Hydralisk. But once you get that optimal amount of Hydralisk, where it kind of renders the Phoenix useless, I think that's when it can get good for Ragnarok. Although you gotta be careful because sometimes the Protoss will kind of transition to like carriers instead, and the carrier interceptors will mess with the Hydralisk while the Phoenix lifts off. So he's gonna have to attack before he gets a good amount of carriers out in the field.
Of course, to get these early lair out, Ragnarok had to cut some corners, and those corners were queens. He has 5 queens right now with the defense. One of the Phoenixes will be very low. Right now, there are a bunch of Hydras ready to fight these Phoenixes. Phoenixes need to lift those Hydras, but that's a little bit too many anti-air units out right now. Predator is going to drop down Robo, which, I mean, yeah, Twilight Council as well. Oh boy, I don't like Creator's position a lot right now. Like, he's still making Phoenixes, he's not getting anything with it. And Ragnarok just got away with a very early lair, which is something that really pays off for the Zerg player. And I'm not too sure about that, but he got a very good scout with the Overseer in the base. Oh, okay, yeah, he's gonna come down with a Nidus. I'm not too sure about the Nidus as well. Oh man, like, this is a hard game to predict right now.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he has any
He knows there's a
overlords.
Robo out. I mean, he will probably just keep Muscular Augment for the Hydras and just try to send as many Hydras out with another network. So just trying to keep up with reinforcements. These forces were not quite good enough from Creator. Of course, there are 2 shield batteries right here defending, but the army of Creator right now is not even remotely good enough to deal with this. This Robo Bay can only make Immortals. Immortals do nothing against Hydras and Zerglings. They just leave a lot. And that's not what he needs. Oh, this Stasis ward though, it was crazy good catching so many Zerglings. But right now, here comes the Queens, here comes the Nidus. This place is gonna be reinforced by Ragnarok very quickly. These Phoenixes need to put down a lot of broke, lifting those Hydras up and getting the kills as fast as possible. The Queens though are gonna be way harder to kill. There is one Immortal out, but this Immortal is not dealing with these units fast enough. These Phoenixes still have a lot of energy. Good job by Creator keeping those Phoenixes high in energy, but this hold is starting to become way harder by the second. This Immortal is the only ground unit right now for Creator. The Phoenixes are falling down as well, and this is gonna be a GG soon because Phoenixes are down. The ground army is just 2 Immortals, and these Hydras are gonna destroy them as soon as they get in range. There is 1 shield battery, but no shield battery overcharge. Ragnarok gets game number 2 with a safe and strong counterattack.
Yeah, that was a really nice timing. That was kind of right when Creator was kind of transitioning into the Robotech, and he didn't really have as much units on the ground to help defend against that. And Ragnarok, he went for that fast Hydralisk then, so he was able to get the quick Hydralisk out. Was able to get the the range Hydralisk range attack upgrade. So yeah, basically a really nice timing attack, and was able to punish Creator for that.
Yeah, that's the problem with a Stargate opener if you don't keep your opponent honest. Like, Ragnarok was able to grid it out quite a lot, I feel. Like, okay, he was on 3 bases, but he skipped a lot of queens. He went into lair. He went with Hydroden, which is the more aggressive version of this defense, because Corruptors, of course, are the way you defend this cleanly without getting a lot of losses, but you can't do much with Corruptors after that. So that's why the Robo transition is what you do after the double Stargate play. But Creator didn't get anything to keep Ragnarok honest. He found his queens his phoenixes in a very best spot in the natural of Ragnarok. Ragnarok just held without getting any losses, and then he could just build up an army and straight up kill Creator. And yeah, that's the problem with us target play that doesn't play proactively. But we will see. Let's get on Everdream for game number 3 of the series.
Yeah.
We're in the top right hand corner, where there is a blue Protoss player spawning, just losing a game, being tied up in the series. It is Creator.
And spawning at the bottom left is the red Zerg player. Got a nice win in the last game, looking to extend his lead to 2-1. Can he do it? It is Ragnarok.
And welcome to Vindicta in the chat as well.
He's like, where are the English speaking people here?
I'm here though, so hi
yeah.
Miguel, how you doing?
But you know what? We love our Korean fans. We love all our fans. So thank you all for tuning in here as we begin game number 3 here on Everdream.
Of course, if you like the content we are putting here on Trovo, make sure to make an account, drop a follow. We're gonna be having this series every Tuesday at this hour, 4 p.m. KST, I think it's the time, 9 a.m. CEST. So make sure to drop that follow, get your notification for whenever we go live. So much content brought to you by Alpha X. So make sure to be here once the action starts.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so we do see that the past 2 games, Creator has gone for the kind of the air tech. Do you think we're gonna actually see once again Creator going for that air tech, or is he gonna change it up and go for maybe a Twilight Council?
You know what? This is a tough call, I feel. Mostly because on Everdream, pretty much everything is okay. But if there is one thing that brings all Protoss players together, is that Everdream is a pretty good map for that. And we see a Twilight Council being dropped down very early. And yes, this is Glaze. I don't even need to think twice about it. This is gonna be Glaze.
Yeah, I think we're all 99.9% that sure that it's gonna be Glaives. I think that's kind of the most common build order here. Now the question is he gonna go for the standard 4-gate Glaive Adepts, or is he gonna add in maybe a more aggressive 5-gate or even 6-gate? All in, we shall see.
I feel like Peter is a little bit of a conservative player. He's not like the guy who just all-ins you without having a backup plan. So I feel like this is probably going to be the 4-gate version.
Yeah, probably so. Now, that was a bit of a mistake there by Ragnarok, or not Ragnarok, excuse me, by Creator, allowing those 2 lings to pass on by. The 2 lings did scout the tech for Creator, so he should have ample time to prepare his defense.
Yeah, the way you defend it hasn't changed a lot. So, right now, Zerg players have probably found out the best way to do this, which is basically very counterintuitive, which is make a lot of Zerglings and then make sure to have your first 5-6 roaches starting basically a tiny bit before the first wave of adepts hits, so that you can defend one base statically with roaches, and then you can chase the waves to the Zerg. And you don't need more than 5 to 6 roaches to defend this. So mostly Larva is gonna be used on lings now, and as you can see, Ragnarok already making 16, while the World Prism flying through the map. So it is going to be the 4-gate version. Yes, it is the 4-gate version. Yeah.
Now this is one of those builds that even though you scout it and you prepare for it, it can still find a lot of damage. I think it kind of really has to do with your army positioning. It looks like Ragnarok. He's on top of it.
And it is a very punishing way to play as well. Like, as soon as you sleep off, like make a little bit of a mistake, your attention goes away for a minute, and these adepts can just straight up murder your economy. But I feel like Ragnarok is very well prepared for this. Here comes the first wave of adepts. Right now there are so many Zerglings chasing down these shades. They're of course not gonna complete. Of course, Creator is gonna dive down deep into this fur base, but the first roaches are out, and as you can see, the first static defense, well, not static defense, the first defense here at the fur can begin. Meanwhile, the Zerglings trying to get on top of these glaives. Of course, there is not much in the natural since there was a block coming from Creator. Here comes the Queens and the Roaches, but the wave of shades is going straight up into the main. Zerglings are there to wait for those adepts. This is not gonna be a great fight for Ragnarok, but of course, the Glaive adepts are not gonna be healthy enough to deal with the Roaches and the Queens once they come out. No more Zerglings, but that's not a problem. The Roaches are out to deal with Creator's adepts, and as you can see, the supply from Creator has gone down very quickly. 8 drones down, a total of, yeah, that's the total. 8 drones down. That's absolutely not enough from Creator to call this timing well done. So right now, Ragnarok is gonna be sitting comfortably with his army. Lair is gonna be starting out right now, and we're probably gonna see a counterattack coming from the Zerg in just a little bit.
Yeah, especially since his third base is up. Now, if Creator was able to do all that damage and was having a third being built at that same time, I would say, you know what, advantage to Creator. But with him, with this late third, I think Ragnarok being free to just kind of drone up, as you can see, he's already bypassed the worker count just for a second there, and we'll probably bypass him in the next minute or so, as this Nexus is still being built. It's about to be done, 75%, but I think Ragnarok has positioned himself in a pretty good place, holding off that big scary attack.
Yeah, and you can see he's trying to be as aggressive as possible. He's taking 6 gases, he's dropping down a Spire. There is no side of a 4th base coming. I'm not too sure about the Spire. Probably it's gonna be Mutas. The Protoss players tend to not go for Blink immediately after this. They tend to go for Charge, just trying to get down that Charge Load Immortal Archon kind of composition. Here we have Creator actually getting the Blink upgrade, which is something interesting to see. With the first Colossus gonna be out, of course, that's one of the best transition out of this. But I don't really feel like Creator is gonna be having a lot of Stalkers to deal with the Mutas that are gonna come from Ragnarok. Ragnarok is setting up quite a powerful counterattack. Here, a couple of Zerglings trying to find a way into the fur base of Creator, not gonna find much. And Creator is just getting all the tech, basically, right now, with the Dark Shrine being dropped as well.
Oh my goodness, he's getting the...
As well as Ragnarok, though.
Yeah, Ragnarok's getting the Hydralisk and the Infestation Pit. I think he might be stretching a bit, especially since he threw down the Spire. He's gonna be careful not to die, because he doesn't have enough to defend on the ground.
Yeah, he's gonna be having quite a lot of units for the time being, but Creator is getting his key upgrades, Extended Thermal Lance, Charge, and those Dark... Yeah, well... Okay, we see a Lurker then being dropped by Ragnarok here. But he also has a Spire. He cannot really afford to go for Lurkers and Spire units. So this Spire was basically just a sink of resources. Yeah, I'm not too sure about that.
I think he was trying to go for the Muleless counterattack, but the Hallucinator Phoenix of Creator scouted the Spire, so he was probably thinking, you know what, Creator probably scouts this ahead of time. He will have ample defense, the correct defense against the Muleless, so he's gonna go ahead and just throw down the Lurker, then instead get the Lurker tech up and running, while throwing down the Infestation Pit as he's getting his hive.
Alright, we see Creator dropping down a second Hallucinating Phoenix to check again for the Lurker then. And he's gonna see that. 8 Lurkers incoming. Creator right now, he has a bunch of Immortals, a bunch of Stalkers. He's not really prepared for that. Of course, he's gonna get 2 more Robots and the Templar Archive to get Storm and get more Immortals to deal with the Lurkers. Observer Speed as well. So, gosh, like, this is not a good position to be in for Creator. You can see Ragnarok having quite a lot of Lurkers out in position, and his supply being very high. He's also getting those key upgrades. The Lurker range upgrade is gonna be down in a little bit. It's gonna be maxed out very soon, and we see +2 ranged attack coming from Ragnarok as well. Creator is trying to position himself in a way in which he can deal with the army of Ragnarok, but right now there is absolutely no way he can get close to the 4th base of the Zerg player. Meanwhile, Ragnarok trying to get into the natural of his opponent. 2 Disruptors he made at the time. The first one is already done. And yeah, Disruptor, a very good choice from Creator. Of course, these roaches are gonna just be sent away by Ragnarok. That supply right now, they're trying to get some value. We will see if they will manage to do that.
Yeah,
Right,
these Blink Stalkers
Disruptor
will
and-
shut that down. You know, it's pretty interesting because Creator, he made the Dark Shrine, but I don't really believe he made any Dark Templars out in the field.
He didn't make any at this time. Okay, starting to get a little bit weird from Creator. Like, he's dropping down a Stargate right now. He's getting Storm. He's getting 2 Immortals at a time. Alright, there's a Nidus play coming from Ragnarok, though. That's probably the most important thing happening right now. There are 4 Zealots being warped in. They're gonna be enough to stop these Nidus for ever coming up. Of course, this is already a threat. Just the Nidus network existing is a threat for Creator. Ragnarok is gonna be sending these roaches just to try and trade with the Lurkers. Not gonna be getting anything out of them right now. They're just that supply. But a Fleet Beacon has been dropped by Creator. He just needs to buy a little bit of time, because once that carrier tech is up for Creator, this game is just gonna be his to take. Dark Templars helping with the Nidus network counter here. A bunch of Lurkers are sieging up just at the boundaries of the 3rd base of Creator right now. Another Nidus network is gonna go down here at the 5th base of Creator. Probably not gonna be finished though, with a cannon and the Dark Templar being there. These Lurkers are gonna be chased out by the Disruptors, but they're just out of range of the Purification Novas. Another Nidus network trying to go down here in the natural. It's a little bit of an exposed one, but there's one photon cannon ready to stop it. And right now, even Ravagers are just gonna be traded out by Ragnarok, who probably feels like he's running out of time, and he has very good reasons to feel like that.
Yeah, I mean, Creator, he's already teching into air tech. He's getting ready to drill down. Actually, interesting enough, he's making Phoenixes. I'm not sure if that's the correct one. I think he should have gone for carriers instead. But that might be a mistake, as he's only making 1 Phoenix. Oh, Lurkers here, going for a attack here onto the north side. And
like 19 Lurkers sieging down at your 5th base. Yeah, that's not something you want to see as a pro player. Ragnarok is basically trying to get as much as possible right now. His army is not very varied. He has 12 Hydras and then just these bulky Lurkers right here. There's not much going on for the Zerg player. He needs to do something right now. Of course, Lurkers are very powerful, but with these 3 Tempests being made right now, time is running out for the Zerg player. +3 ranged attack is gonna be starting now, but it's pretty much already too late for that. A 5th base on the other side is gonna be cancelled by Creator, but Storm and Disruptors are keeping the Lurkers at bay right now. Ragnarok cannot really dive in too deep. With the 3 Tempests being out from Creator, this is starting to look rough for Ragnarok. He's retreating from that position, and these Lurkers are already past their prime. They're still gonna be very strong at deflecting the attacks from Creator and maybe getting some bases out very fast. But Ragnarok right now really needs a way to get rid of those Tempests. Otherwise, his Lurkers can never survive.
Yeah, he does have the Spire up now, so maybe he gets some Corruptors on top of it, or maybe even some Vipers to kind of yoink them in. But oh, Ragnarok kind of throwing his Lurkers away. I guess he needs to free up some supply or something, but
He wasn't even having an Overseer with the main army. This Dark Templar got so much value. Of course, these Archons right here with this shield battery are gonna be a very tough thing to put down, but they're not getting much value themselves right now. All the value from Creator is in these Disruptors, these Immortals, and these Tempests. Of course, a big fight is gonna start right now at the 4th base of Creator, but Ragnarok doesn't really have the numbers. These Disruption Novas are gonna get 3 Lurkers out. 4 Vipers are gonna come out from Ragnarok as you were predicting, but we also see +1 air attack coming from the Xur player. Shadow Strike, interesting from Creator. With those air upgrades, those Tempests though are gonna hit so hard, and they're gonna start to put down Lurkers, probably in 3 shots or maybe 4, I don't know. Not too sure about the numbers, but I can tell you that Tempest hit quite hard with those upgrades. Right now, Ragnarok is trying to trade a little bit of his army for this 4th base of Creator. The main army of the Protoss is gonna be in position. Ragnarok doesn't want to just give away units. He wants to trade them with something. And so he does, with another swarm being placed on the other side of the map. Well defended by Lurkers. Ragnarok is gonna establish an interesting counter-attack on the map. There is one Dark Templar trying to get rid of it, and he will get rid of it. These Lurkers are in a very tough spot, while the army of Creator is struggling a little bit to find a good position to deal with the Zerg. 13 Corruptors incoming, by the way.
that'll definitely help with the Colossus and the Tempest. I wonder if he should add in some, if Creator should add in some Void Rays. I think that would be pretty good for him to counter the Corruptors, as well as get the Void Ray upgrade to make them move a lot quicker.
Yeah, that will be definitely a good idea, but that's difficult. I still feel like Carriers will probably be a tiny little bit better, but it's getting to that point in the game in which the Protoss player cannot really do too much but try to not lose all of his key units to Vipers. That's basically it. Like, positioning is probably gonna be the most important thing. This game is gonna last a while, by the way, guys, because once Corruptors and Vipers are out, both players are just gonna basically stancing between their most important bases, and like any little mistake of positioning from Creator can mean all of his Tempests go down. If all of the Tempests go down for Creator, the game is basically over. So Storm is gonna be important to keep the Corruptors at bay, and the Vipers as well. Let's remember, there's one little buff Protoss got, which is feedback range upgrade from, oh my god, these Vipers yoinking in those Tempests, in those Colossi, and the Disruptors as well, and whatever they put their eyes upon. This fight has gone insanely well in favor of Ragnarok, who's now actually diving on top of the army of Creator. He can do that. The Vipers are going down, but these Corruptors are killing every single Tempest and every single Colossi that was out for Creator. All of the key units have gone down for the Protoss player, and feedback was basically never used by Creator to get those Vipers down before they can join all of these key units. One good Storm is gonna hit on top of these Lurkers, but it's never gonna be enough. 15 probes down. Another base will go down for Creator, which is trying to counter-attack right now, trying to hit in the main bases of Ragnarok, who's just gonna retreat here with his main army and try to deal with this big ball of Archons. Of course, this is not gonna be easy for Creator and for Ragnarok anyway. That's still a lot of very good units. One Disruption Nova will get one of the Lurkers down, but with all these Overseers in position, Dark Templars are never gonna matter enough, and the Archons are not gonna get anywhere close to these Lurkers. Right now, Carriers are out, and it looks like Creator has accomplished my wish And right now he's very healthy on supply as well. His army cannot get too close. One good revelation will spot the lurkers. But right now, oh, the army of Ragnarok splitting a little bit too much, getting in a bad spot. This base gonna go down again. And 6 archers are gonna come out. Oh, Disruption Nova will get on top of the lurkers, not gonna get any kill. And what do you think about these ultras?
Yeah, I think the Ultralisk could be okay. I mean, it does kind of distract the interceptors, as well as, you know, it kind of mitigates some of the Archon splash damage, but that's still a lot of Archons. There's still Immortals in that, and also 4 Disruptors to go with it.
Yeah, the main army of Creator is getting very strong. Losing those probes didn't really hurt too much the Protoss player, who just kind of didn't replace them. It just made more units. Of course, as you can see in the resources, this is hurting his bank a lot. Basically what Creator has right now... Oh my god, that Disruption will get 20 kills. Okay.
That's like every Protoss dream.
Yeah, not that matters a lot. I don't think like Ragnarok is gonna be making more than 10. Yeah, it's making just 10. And yeah, that is gonna be not what Creator wants to see. 10 Broodlords incoming. No more Vipers to join the most important units, but these Lurkers are just gonna be traded out here at this base with the Ultras as well. This is gonna be a very tough army to deal with Creator. This is gonna be a great fight. The Lurkers are in a bit of a off position. The Ultras cannot really fight that, but here comes the Disruption Nova, and that was crazy. 20 supply of Ultras and Lurkers going down in the blink of an eye.
That was sick.
Yeah, that was nuts. Of course, right now there are 10 Broodlords to deal with the Archons and the Disruptors, which means these 2 carriers are basically gonna be the only thing standing for Creator against these mighty Broodlords. Creator is just gonna retreat right now, and so many Disruptors caught out. Meanwhile, an insane Zealot Rambai has been dealing with one of the most important bases of Ragnarok very quickly, and the banks of both players are sinking down very quickly. No more gas for Ragnarok for quite a while, it seems. So right now he's just replacing his lost supply with Zerglings. Does he have a Journal Clan, by the way?
Nope, I don't think so.
Really? Doesn't have a Journal Clan. That's not good. Like, okay, these Zerglings are trying to trade with the Nexus, but they won't with so many Archons out and without a Journal Clan. Without +3 as well. Yeah, not great. Of course, the rest of the army of Ragnarok is gonna come. A storm is gonna be dropping down just outside of range of these Broodlords. But the main army of Creator is just retreating in a place in which he cannot do too much. The main army of Ragnarok can just completely disregard the army of Creator and just start destroying everything else, which is currently doing. It doesn't matter that Ragnarok is 20 supply behind. Right now, Creator doesn't have enough units to deal with this. He has 3 Tempests. Yeah, okay, but there are Corruptors out right now. And look at how much damage they deal against these Tempests. They cannot just trade with them. They're trying to retreat on top of the Archons to fight with the Corruptors. But the Corruptors are dealing with every single Tempest. Broodlords are coming to deal with the Archons right now. Another Tempest is gonna come out. Broodlords are trying to retreat while the main army of Creator is trying to clash on the most important bases of Ragnarok. The army of Creator is dropping very thin in supply though, and here comes so many Hydras to deal with the Archons and the Immortals. There are 2 carriers out and 2 Corruptors to fight with them. Storm is gonna be so important. One good Storm is dropping down on top of the main army. Here comes the Broodlords, but the Corruptors are gonna be placed right where they need to be to deal with the carriers. One of the carriers is about to go down. The main army of both players is shrinking by the second, but Creator is gonna be taking the worst of this fight. Gigi gets gold, and Ragnarok has done it. He is at match point.
What a game.
Crazy
Let's
game.
stretch on to almost 25 minutes. Jesus.
And it was so uncertain for so much of the time as well. Like, I feel like it was in a spot in which the Protoss player was falling more and more behind by the minute. Not enough carriers, not enough Tempests, and not enough High Templars, having so many Archons, it's just calling for those Broodlords to end the game, and it's just what happened.
Yeah, I think that was the game changer, the Broodlords. I mean, Creator, he had a lot of great ground army, but just not enough, quite enough anti-air to take down those Broodlords. I think he had a few carries, but not any Tempest. And I think the game kind of the momentum's kind of changed when Creator lost all his Tempests to those Corruptors. He had nothing to protect those Tempests. I mean, you got to add in either a bunch of Stalkers in below, or maybe a bunch of Archons in below to help defend, or maybe add in some Void Rays to help to kind of beef up and defend the Tempest from those Corruptors. And that's, Creator didn't have any of that, so that was kind of like a really kind of important engagement to kind of bent the favorability towards Ragnarok.
I kind of feel like the momentum switched out a little bit earlier. I agree that was absolutely the game-ending moment. But there is one more moment that was really important, and it was when the Vipers started like abducting all of the key units. In that moment, Creator, I think he panicked a little bit, and he just morphed almost all of his High Templars into Archons. Archons do basically nothing in the spot. They don't deal with Lurkers. They can't deal with Corruptors quick enough. They cannot chase them as well. And of course, they are just absolutely destroyed by Broodlords. So having that many Archons without actually... Yeah, he got some damage with them, but like Ragnarok didn't even bother too much about killing them. Having that many Archons means you don't have High Templars, means you don't have a Storm. And even if it takes like 4 Storms to kill a Corruptor, they still keep them at bay. And that's what he needs to defend his Tempest, and he didn't have High Templars, so that's how Ragnarok won, in my head at least.
Yeah, now he's up 2-1, one game away from clinching the series.
And let's get into introductions here. On Death Aura, spawning in the bottom right hand corner as the blue Protoss player, he needs to win 2 in a row. He's Creator.
And spawning here at the top left from Team Alpha X, he's the Red Zerg. It is Ragnarok.
No hatch block this time from Creator.
Well, he did go for the hatch block, but I think Ragnarok faked him out because he went for the dirt base, the drone, and then he kind of also simultaneously sent the drone to the natural and was able to take the natural right when the Creator sent his probe to try to block the dirt base. So a little bit of a kind of a not mind game, but kind of a cheeky play from both players.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense for Ragnarok to adapt to Creator, just trying to arch block in every game. While Creator is dropping on his Stargate again, he probably feels like it is the best way for him to play the matchup. And I kind of agree with him. Like, Creator is well known as a very accomplished Stargate player. So why not try to play his best build order? Just like Trap, like, you know, when you see Trap play a PvZ, you basically know he's gonna go for a Stargate most of the series.
Yeah.
I feel like it's the same with Creator.
Yeah, I guess, and also similar to kind of Zest on the opposite end. When you see Zest, you can kind of expect more adept glaive kind of builds.
Yeah, or Robo stuff as well.
Yeah, like DTs or something.
Which is once again totally the opposite from Stats, which not only it will drop a Stargate, but it will also drop a Robo after 3 Oracles just to stay even more defensive.
All right, we have the first Oracle moving out here, along with those 2 Adepts. Now, do we see any Spore Callers? We do see one in the main base, none at the second.
He's making one in the natural right now. This one Oracle is still gonna get probably 4 drones. That's the key number. Oh, what? He's not even gonna bother with that. I guess he got a little bit too much damage before actually doing something. I feel like it was a little bit of a misplay from Creator. Yeah, whatever. Right now, one Phoenix is trying to bring down this Overload. Once the second Oracle is gonna come out, it's gonna be starting to become a little bit more difficult for Ragnarok to keep his drones alive. Of course, once again another Oracle is coming down, here he's probably gonna get at least a couple of drones. He's gonna get two. Second Oracle is gonna come, and the robot has been dropped by Creator. Just as I was talking about stats, it looks like Creator is adopting stats standard build order for the matchup, which is triple Oracle into Robo. And I have to be honest, I still feel like this is the best way to play this matchup.
Yeah, it looks like Creator's going to go ahead and use one of the Phoenix to possibly lift up. But oh no, with two queens there, he's going to go ahead and back off. I think if it was one queen, then he could have used the. He would have gone for it. You know, lift off one of the queen and use the oracles to snipe down on those little drones. But think twice and we'll back out.
Yeah, and Ragnarok positioning has been insane this game. Like, his queens were always right where the oracles were about to hit. Here a bunch of adepts are trying to get some damage, but once again the queens are well positioned, the lings are chasing them down. And yeah, look at this. The queens are just always there. There's probably not even a way these units are gonna get more than just 2 to 3 drones, because right now the queens are getting once again in position. One queen is probably gonna be lifted. This Phoenix is getting a little bit too ahead of time. And yeah, 2 drones fall down. Queens are right there when they need to be. And Ragnarok, how many drones has he lost this game? 5? Yeah, that's not enough, Creator.
Yeah, especially for 2 oracles, 3 oracles, and the Phoenix. Now the good thing is that he hasn't lost any of the oracles. We've seen many times, you know, Protoss will just try to dive in and kind of overextend, and then they just lose their oracle. But he was able to save those oracles, and those oracles will be able to kind of regenerate their energy and be used later on to throw down some stasis wards or revelations and stuff like that.
Right now, a little bit of a counter-attack with these links is gonna get some value. Actually, one Sentry will fall down, this Immortal is badly bruised, and a bunch of Stalkers are also gonna fall down. Yeah, this is dealing a lot of damage, actually. Ragnarok is, in fact, actually sending even more Zerglings out. These Oracles are right now being pulled just a little bit too late to deal with these Zerglings. Already 13 pros have gone down. Pulsar Beam, of course, is gonna deal with the remaining ones. But Creator, as you can see in his production tab, is being quite hurt by this, at least psychologically, because Ragnarok is just killing every single unit he's sending out. Oracles don't have a lot of energy right now to deal with them, and there are a bunch of Hydras already out. Ragnarok went for the greediest play possible, because right now he has just so many drones, 63 to 44. He went for an early ladder and he got away with that. Not got enough damage. This is looking very similar to game number 2. Queens are in position once more to deal with the main army of Creator, but Creator has a bunch of Stalkers with this. Of course, fast Banelings and Hydras are gonna be a lot of damage to deal with for Creator, but this army is still quite strong enough to actually deal a little bit of damage. Ragnarok has to play a little bit on defensive right now. Good force splits once more are gonna prevent the army of Ragnarok to do anything. These stasis wards were crazy, locking down so many units out of Ragnarok. And once these units are gonna pop out of that stasis ward, it's gonna be too late, because Creator is diving down on top of the fur base of Ragnarok. So much damage is being dealt by both players to each other right now. The army of Creator is falling down too quick. Another stasis ward pops, but it's not gonna be enough probably to stop these Hydras from getting on top of everything. The Ward Prism is still very safe behind everything, but Immortal is just not enough to deal with these Hydras. It looks like Ragnarok has done this again. Clean defense, and it's a 3-1 victory from our very own Alpha X player.
Yeah, well done there. A nice hold by Ragnarok. It was a little bit scary with the force field and with the stasis ward trapping some of the Banelings and Hydralisks, but you know what, Ragnarok, he was kind of pumping out units from like 65 drones at that point, 64 drones. Had a 20, I think like 10-20 worker lead at that point.
Yeah, I feel like Creator did anything, like everything he could do in that spot. I don't feel like with what he had, he could have done better than that. It was scary enough for Ragnarok. and he just didn't have enough. And Ragnarok, perfect hold. It was quite a perfect game from him, I have to say.
Yeah, especially since he kind of caught Creator with his pants down. He caught some of the units moving out, was able to pick off like a couple centuries here and there with those. I think Creator wasn't expecting all that Ling Flood. And also, at that time, he moved out with his Oracles, so those Oracles wasn't able to help defend against the mass Lings. Imagine if he had the Oracles, the 3 Oracles with his army, he would have been able to hold off that mass Ling attack so much easier. He wouldn't have been have to lose 11 probes during that attack. So that game could have turned out a lot differently. But Ragnarok, he was able to kind of find the hole, found the weakness, and was able to hold, and he will advance to the finals and face against the winner of our next semifinals, which will be between Zest and Time.
Yeah, I'm kind of excited about this series. We will see.
Yeah, you know what? We're going to go ahead and get everything set up. But while we get everything set up, let's go ahead and take a look at some of our recent favorite plays. And then after that, we'll be right back with our second semifinals. Don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be right back.
From Future, there is no third base on the way, and these teams are going to try to be able to snipe this Raven. If they could snipe this Raven before they move across the map, that's massive, but the Raven matters a whole lot less than it did, previous games. There is no Robo on the map whatsoever here. It is just Charizard. I mean, it is 6 gates.
Oh my god.
Oh, Charizard, that is a massive play coming in from around here. And there we have it. Now we do have the Dorito Cannon on the front, but man, we have a massive surround here all over the place. And Max Pax looking to clean up Future as Future Micros in the main base with no healing left. And what a great force field here. Now, Future up on Army Supply when this started is now heinously down as these Charizards just get on top of everything that Future holds dear. And this push, well, it looks pretty stalled out.
Looks like Solar won't get any SCP. It was very lucky from Dream, I have to be honest there. Having those SCPs exactly where he needed them, and the drones have to back off because they're faster than the Marine, so they will be able to retreat. But more drones are gonna be pulled. It looks like Solar this time is gonna be trying to block this bunker from ever existing. Here attacking the bunker, gonna be cancelled by Dream. A lot of SCVs, a lot of drones are put into the action though. So that's already damage being dealt by Dream. Of course, Dream as well is losing quite a little bit of time and resources for this. 2 bunkers are gonna be dropped, but there are already 3 Marines attacking this actually right here, right now. The drones are here, ready to be pulled once the first few Queens and Lings are out. Here comes the pull, here comes the army, here comes Solar, getting on top of the Marines and getting them away from these bunkers. A clean surround coming from Solar. Dream gets out of that just in the brink of time he needed, but one of the SCVs is gonna fall. The second one is gonna barely complete this bunker. Good play by Dream. The first queen is out, and right now Solar has to retreat back into defensive stance, and Dream has accomplished his proxy. The bunker is in position, and the army of Solar needs to be completely pulled. He's gonna be able to deal with this by losing a lot of drones. First bunker is gonna go down right here, or maybe not. Too many Marines, too many drones are lost, too many Lings are down, and it looks like it's gonna be another GG call by Solar. Army, but still, this is a scary army, scary amount of tanks, while Patience is fully going ham on top of his opponent, trying to get damage here through the map, blinking forward on top of those tanks, and the Shadow Strike Dark Templars are getting so much damage so quickly. The most important pieces of production for innovation are under attack right now. Meanwhile, the rest of the army of Perfect Purification Nova will get a lot of damage done. Meanwhile, another round of units is gonna be worked in by Patience to seal the deal.
Alright, welcome back, guys. We are about to get started in our second semifinals. Acontistas went to get something to eat, to snack on, so he'll be right back. But in the meantime, oh, there we go. Welcome back.
I'm sorry, I'm back.
All right, welcome back. We just you just got back in time. We're about to, I think, yeah, they just about to finish their vetoes, and yeah.
Yeah, they've just been done with it. We have our first map, which is gonna be Everdream. So nothing too new here, but the matchup is very different right here. We have a TVP, and I have to say this, I absolutely love this matchup. I don't know for what reason, since I'm a Zerg player, but this is my absolute favorite thing to watch in this game, and I can't wait to see how these two guys will perform.
Yeah, same here. I love myself, myself, some PVT, and I like, because Time, I think he's kind of like a more of an aggressive type of player. And I think Zest as well. He's leaning towards the aggressive side. Certainly not kind of the defensive type like stats. So I think they're gonna go ahead and butt heads, and we should see. I'm gonna guess some nice kind of PVT action here.
Yeah, this is an interesting one. Also, a matchup that I quite never see a lot, like Zest versus Time. I mean, this is not very common, like to see those two players face each other. So one more good reason to see how this will go. And talking about him, owning in the top right hand corner of Everdream is the Blue Terran playing for KaiZ Gaming. It is Time.
And spawning at the bottom left, he's the red Protoss player from Raise Your Edge Gaming. He is the best. He is Zest. All right, Everdream LE.
What is your prediction here? I want to hear what you have to say about this matchup.
On paper, I'm gonna say Zest is probably gonna be favored here off the bat. But Time is one of those players where, out of the blue, he can kind of, bring some high level performance that you just don't expect, and he just takes down like high level Korean players. So I wouldn't be surprised if Time was able to take down Zest here in this upcoming series as we got going on here. But I'm gonna predict Zest is gonna probably win this. How about you? What do you think?
You know what? Like, this is another series which is pretty hard to actually predict, and I think it's gonna be up to which one of these two players is better at the matchup. And I actually feel like it's Time. I know this is weird coming from me. I do love me some Korean Protoss player. I think they are just a step ahead of basically everyone on the scene. Like player like Stats, players like Trap, and these guys basically are just probably not good enough to face the kind of Maru TY Serral, but that's it. I do feel like these Korean pros are the best, but Time, you know what? Like, I still remember very cleanly his games versus Maru in BlizzCon. I still remember how this guy can perform when he's at his peak level, and that is one level I think that can beat Zest. So I'm gonna give this prediction to Time, but you know what? Zest is still one of the best players ever. So with this Proxys target, I'm expecting him to be quite powerful in this series all around.
Yeah, we do see the proxy Stargate here, and the Oracle will arrive soon, and we do see Time went for the Marauder opening, so he's actually not going to have any anti-air, no no turrets, no engineering base for those turrets, no widow mines, no marines. This could be scary for time, but at the same time, what does Zest have? He doesn't have a. He has 2 stalkers, but no shield battery. This could get a bit scary for Zest as well.
There's 3 stalkers right now. They still gonna probably deal with the Marauders. Are they? Oh, great grenade coming down from time, dropping down on top of the stalkers. One of the Marauders is gonna go down. Now it's 1 Marauder against 1 stalker. This is gonna be won by the stalker. Okay, no, it's gonna be won by the Marauder. Oh, maybe not. Oh, gosh, it's close. Stalker 1 HP,
1
by the way.
life.
All right. On the other side of the map, there was an Oracle dealing a lot of damage. Marines got into position. 3 SCVs have fallen down, but yeah, time is quite a little bit behind right now.
Yeah, and I did expect the Oracle to do a bit more damage in terms of worker kills, but I was able to do some of the Marine count. He still has that Oracle alive, so if he wants to, maybe he can throw down like a stasis ward behind the mineral line. That would be pretty funny. Although I think time is on top of it. He has some Marines at the kind of position in the mineral line. Also, he looks like he's gonna go for the 2 Widow Mine drop. Now the Oracle did get sight of it, so I expect Zesh should be able to defend against that. But ooh, look at here, we have a Dark Shrine going down.
Yeah, and yeah, Zesh playing that perfectly, basically getting a lot of scouting with that Oracle and getting away with it as well, which is not something you can do very easily with so many Marines on so many different spots. But of course, the focus on time right now, it's on these Medivac drop. The Widow Mines are going to be very important. Here comes the first Widow Mine in the fur base. Not much to get down here. Good defense by Zest. But right now, time is not gonna try to keep this Widow... Oh, wait. Oh, okay. Not gonna get a good shot here. We're just gonna get 1 Stalker out. That's not enough. Meanwhile, the Medivac is just gonna go back home. 2 Dark Templars getting in right now in the main, while 1 is in the natural, trying to cancel, deny combat shields. This is looking dangerous for time. It looks like the Tech Lab is gonna go down. Combat shield denied. Blink just finished Possess, and the Protoss player is getting more ahead by the second. Missile turret is gonna go down as well. A good scan is gonna be dropped to kill 1 of the Dark Templars. Meanwhile, in the main though, 8 of the SCVs have gone down, and his Dark Templar over here is still getting damage, and he's still surviving, actually. No Tech Lab to get a Raven, and right now, 10, 11, and counting. So much is going down for time. It just goes to GG. There's no coming back from that. And Zest is gonna get game number 1 of the series. Just telling me, no Econ, not today. Your prediction is not gonna be right.
Well, to be fair, I mean, you don't expect, you know, the Protoss after he goes air to go for DTs, because the idea is that, you know, the Terran, the opponent will have you know, kind of a anti-air like turrets to defend, and of course turrets has detection, so you know that kind of, you know, double counters the Oracles as well as the DTs. But you know what, he did not go for any turrets. He was just relying on his Marines to defend against the Oracles.
And the Raven is also a good way to get around those Stargate openers, and he didn't do any of that as well. Like,
yeah,
Zest is such an unpredictable player. Like, whenever you think you can just expect something normal from him, he always surprises you. So that is the kind of stuff I don't want to see from time. I don't want to see him just expect stuff, because that's not the way you play against us. The way you play against us is going wide, like playing wide lane across the board, and that's what I want to see from him. But we will see. We're on Pillars of Gold right now for our second game of the series. In the bottom left hand corner is the base of the blue Terran player playing for Kaizi Gaming, hailing from China. It is time.
and spawning here at the top right, we have the red Protoss player from Raise Your Edge Gaming, it is Zest.
Pillars of Gold, I feel like it's one of the strangest maps for this matchup that has been out for basically ever. Now, this can go in so many different ways. Like, predicting something out of your opponent here is absolutely impossible. Both players can go for so many different strategies. Everything is very good here, and I absolutely love this map for this matchup for this reason.
I agree. Pillars of Gold is definitely a weird one because, first of all, for a map called Pillars of Gold, and to have no gold mineral bases,
Yeah, like
that's just wrong.
to start it out.
That in itself is weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, we do see that the main base does have a ledge area where there's a lot of surface area for some Blink Stalker action, right? And I think we might actually see some Blink Stalkers coming out of Zest. And especially since
it's a very like safe way to play the matchup as well.
yeah, definitely. I think it's been in the meta for quite some time now, and also considering how time is spawned at the bottom, which means that all his buildings, all his add-ons will be on the right side, which means it's going to be exposed to the Blink Stalkers. So that kind of really helps out compared to imagine if time was spawned at the top right, all his add-ons will be kind of blocked with the barracks and the factories. You have to kind of go in deeper in order to snipe off the add-ons. So this just kind of the spawn areas, it just really favors Zest right now.
Yeah, I've heard Special rant about it so many times as well, like saying that against Protoss, just spawning on the wrong side of the map can mean the game to end. But we all know Special, so we know how he deals with Protoss. And that's
Yeah.
by yelling at them really hard. So, and he wins a lot against them for this reason. Did you know that Special's best matchup is PvT? He has his highest win rate in TvP.
That is pretty interesting.
Yeah, he's very interesting. But Time actually is doing something even more interesting right here. It is a proxy, factory, and starport in the right hand side of the map. He's looking to go for some Hellion drop in the main of Zest. And I absolutely love this kind of opener from the Terran player against Protoss, especially on Pillars of Gold. There are a lot of ways this can get unscouted. It's a very hard spot to send your units in. So basically, unless you're against a Stargate opener, which is something that basically never happens in this in the matchup, unless it is proxied, Zest can be in real danger real fast.
Oh, here we go. The first 3 Hellions and the medevac will commence, but the Stalkers are already positioned there.
They will still go down the islands, trying to get a couple probes down. One of the islands immediately falls down. Time not really getting too much with it. Gonna be just 3 probes. Of course, the commitment out of Time is just not through the roof. He's gonna be having his add-ons a little bit later, which could mean he's gonna be having his steam and combat shields later as well. Which actually means that Zest can make something happen with Blade. Now, will he try to do that? That's a whole different question. He's not getting a robot. Oh, actually, he already has a robot. That's why he's not getting one. And with these observers, he could actually try to get into the main of Time and try to knock down some key upgrades. And I do feel like he's going to do that.
I mean, he definitely should. I mean, Stim is late. There's not a lot of medevacs out in the field, so if Time decides to go for Stim, actually, he doesn't even have Stim. he's researching Stim and combat shield right now, so his upgrades are really late because of the kind of the build that he opened up with. So this is like one of the great times for Zest to just go across the map and counterattack. He should know that there's not a lot of harassment that Time can do on his side.
Yeah, there's also another thing that you could think, which is there are not a lot of key units to snipe. I can never get on top of a tank, on top of a medivac, or anything like it. So he's just probably just greening it out a little bit. Like he's sitting on 4 stalkers right now, which is a very low count. Like there are a lot of things that can kill you very fast if you just have 4 stalkers. But right now, Zest is not scared about any of those. He knows the upgrades for time are gonna be late. He knows there is not gonna be any drop coming anytime soon. He knows there's not gonna be any tank push. So he's just gonna get his charge, his +1, his key structures, his economy running. He's right now 10 workers ahead. And as much as I would like to see the aggressive Zest, the guy who blinks into your main and tries to kill you, I love how he's playing this game right now. This, I feel like it's by far the best choice he could make. He's gonna be so much ahead in a little while.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely like, you know, two ways you can play it out. You can either go for a aggressive counterattack, or you just macro hard, and that's exactly what Zest does. And look, with the Hallucinated Phoenix scouting the move out of the army of time, you will go ahead and drop in with this Warp Prism and 4 charge lot to do some harass. Doesn't really get a lot of SCV kills, but time is
Well, that's a scary moment, but yeah, Zest will get away with that. And just forcing the army of time back home already did quite a lot. There is a 4th coming from the Terran player, which can be a very good way to get back into the game real quick. His army is very strong right now, and the Robo base, is just being finished right now with the 2nd Robo facility actually being finished as well. But Zest is just not giving the time, sorry, that sounds very bad. He's just not giving time the time to actually move out and get his stuff running. 5 workers will go down and 2 disruptors being made at a time. Once they're done, this army of time will not be strong enough to deal with Zest. Already Zest has 3 immortals, a bunch of zealots, and a bunch of stalkers. Zealots already have charge. Like, Zest is in a perfect spot right now to deal with time. It will require a big mistake from Zest for time to actually do something. Right now he's steaming on top of the army of Zest. Force fields are perfect enough to keep the army of time away from that, and that's already 1 wasted steam from the Terran player. Meanwhile, Zest already counterattacking on the other side of the map, and he can be so damn aggressive with his warpings. And right now, look at this, so many zealots right here, and time cannot find a good spot to get in. Disruption Nova will whip with the Marines of Time actually killing him before he can do anything. The Liberators is gonna siege up on top of everything, but there are so many mortals, so many disruptors out as well. This one Liberator is doing wonders at keeping the army of Zest at bay, and the 3rd Nexus is gonna fall for the Protoss player. No 4th one, so his economy is gonna be seriously hurt by this. But the army of time is just not getting enough. There's so much Protoss everywhere. The Zealots are also running back home, but these Stalkers are way too good right now for time to do anything. +1 against +1 is always gonna be the Protoss dream. Zest is gonna go 2-0, and it's gonna be actually 1 game away from getting into the finals.
Yeah, I mean, just well played there by Zest. Just nice, I guess, defense there against the 3 Hellion medevac drop. I mean, that's perfect. He only lost like 3 probes against 3 Hellions, and that was a really great trade. And after that, it was pretty much Zest's game at that point, right? He had the dirt base up and running. He was just macroing like a beast, and he just out macro the time there. And yeah, I think he just overall nicely played there by Zest.
It was a very clean game from Zest. Something you don't always see from him, but so far, like, time has been trying to like go a little bit wider here, going for something a little bit more aggressive while keeping a strong fold-back plan back home. But Zest just did something a little bit different here. He did something you would not expect from him once more. You would expect him to punish you from going aggressively and not getting damage. Instead, He just totally on macro time. Like the macro from Zest this game was perfect. And he just won like that.
And now he's enjoying a 2-0 lead, and he is just one game away from clinching the series.
Let's see how he will handle this game number 3. We're on Golden Wall in the bottom right hand corner, where the red Terran player is spawning playing for KaiZ Gaming. He needs to win 3 in a row, hailing from China. This is time!
And spawning here at the bottom left, he's the blue Protoss player from Razor Edge Gaming, looking to clinch and secure this series to move on to the finals. Can he do it? It is Zest. So I think you can probably give a good argument that this map should have been Pillars of Gold with its gold basis.
But Golden Wall needs to have some gold stuff, right?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
But the weird stuff about Golden Wall is that the wall is not golden.
That's correct. What is Blizzard thinking?
Oh gosh, these map makers today. Alright, this proc by Zest, okay, yeah. For a minute I dreamed. I dreamt of this probe actually doing something like a fake cannon rush, but it was already too late. Of course, it's just gonna get a little bit of scouting, just gonna try to delay that command center. Not gonna happen. But this is just the early skirmish for this game. Golden Wall can be another very weird map for the matchup, since I feel most players do not really like going into late game on this map in this matchup, and they try to play very aggressively, especially the Terrans, since like it is quite obvious to say this, but for anyone who's not really who's something like new to the game, like Golden Wall is well known as a little bit of a Terran map because of the short distance that your medivac can travel to go for a drop. So the aggressor here, weirdly enough, will probably be time, but we will see.
Yeah, I could definitely see
2-1-1 as well.
Oh yeah, looks like he's definitely gonna go on and put some timing pressure of some sort. When you go for the 2 racks opening, the idea is that you get, one of the racks with the reactor, so you can make a bunch of Marines, and then the other one, of course, has the tech lab to research STEM, and then you go for a possibly a 2 medevac Marine STEM timing across the map. And if you can catch the Protoss off guard, then it could like do a lot of damage. But if it doesn't do quite enough damage, then you're quite behind actually.
Yeah, and of course this Cyclone is gonna be made just to keep out aggression from Zest for a little while. It's also a good way to stop scouting. Basically, the Cyclone is the early counter to everything. It's good against target openers, it's good against Blinko lanes, it's good against just the standard Blink openers. So it's always safe for the Terran to go for the Cyclone for defense, especially since he's going for something very aggressive that needs a way to defend if Zest is also going for something aggressive of his own, which is not the case as of now. There is a Warp Prism going in actually, and there is also Dark Shrine. Alright, never mind. Zest is going for Dark Templars.
Yeah, and this is going to be a bit scary because the engineering bait is actually late, a little bit late.
Yep.
So he's going to have to rely on his... Oh no, he just threw down a meal. He's going to have only 1 scan left. Oh no, this is going to be... I think all our Terran viewers, please cover your eyes.
Well, that's a good catch from time, but of course Zest is just gonna put these items. Man, oh, that's a good lock on from time. Of course, Zest doesn't know there's no more scans available for time for quite a while. Like, 10 seconds or so, being a little bit less. But right now, the first missile turret is out. So Zest, your time is not now. With an Archon being morphed in right outside the boundaries of the natural, time will have a good window to just try to deal his blow to Zest. Sending 2 Medivacs full of Marines through the map. The last one is still not yet done, but Zest is actually going back home. He probably realizes what is going on. He probably realizes that something nasty is happening, and here comes the drop. Timing is right now at the natural of his opponent, and he's getting quite a lot of damage. Steaming in, getting Stalkers, getting Adepts. This is already a lot of units falling down for Zest. And right now the probes are also falling down as well. This Archon is going to be clutch to keep the Marine count low. In the end, Time lost quite a fair bit of his own units, but he stopped Zest right on his track. And right now, he can just start macroing it out. He's 8 workers behind, yes, but Zest has to actually make up for the lack of production compared to the 2-1-1. The 2-1-1 can be a little bit weird if you don't get any units or something out of your opponent, but the opener of Zest was a very aggressive one which didn't quite get anything. This War Prism is in danger, this War Prism is in real danger, almost falls down, and that would have been quite a bummer for Zest. Anyway, as I was saying, basically just Time has a way better production than his opponent has right now.
Yeah, but I don't think Time did enough damage to justify the his build order. I think he's gonna have to, I guess, rely on this kind of this follow-up attack here with these Marines and tanks to do the bulk of the damage. Because Zest, he does have 3 bases, while if you look at Time side, he just started his 3rd command center. So
that's a very late third.
yeah, this is a very late third. So if Time does not do some damage here at the 3rd base of Zest, then it could be a deja vu once again where Zest will just out macro Time.
Yeah, then Medivac going down is insanely bad for Time. These Marines are just gonna be quite naked over here. Like, that win of timing was quite great, but with just 1 Medivac, I don't know about that. There is 1 Liberator actually going into the main to get some damage. But yeah, like, the timing would have been good right there with 3 Medivacs. Right now, yeah, I don't feel like Time can do too much. I do agree with you that 2-1-1 didn't do enough, but Zest, DT, early pressure didn't do much as well. I just feel like Zest recovered better than Time against that. Yeah, it's just a matter of Zest on macroing Time right now. It feels a little bit bad, to be honest.
Yeah, I think Time is slipping a little bit on his macro. He's been stuck on like the 50-ish worker count for the longest time. But the good thing is that he does secure the gold base, so that should at least help somewhat for him to kind of recover and kind of catch back up. As you can see in the income graph, it's been all Zest throughout this pretty much the entirety of this game. So he's definitely gonna have to try to make use of that gold base to try to somewhat crawl himself back.
It is quite a good comeback plan from Time to try and get this golden, try to get a... And with the first few Vikings going out, these Colossi are also going to be a little bit less of a threat to Time as well. But the army of Zest has grown out very quickly. And right now, Time needs to defend here Turtle a little bit as well at his 3rd base, which is something he can do. He has enough tanks to do that. And Zest cannot really blink dive on top of the army of Time. This 1 War Prism at the left side of the main of Time could be scary though.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely going to have to try to find some opening. He's definitely not going to break this gold base here, so he's going to have to find an alternative pathing, and that War Prism is definitely the answer. But there is a Cyclone there, so he's going to have to make sure not to lose the War Prism to the Cyclone.
The Vikings are moving there as well. Yeah. This is not a feel-good moment for Zest. I feel like Zest also lost his window of time to actually do something significant. And the game has basically reset right now. Both players are gonna be on 4 bases very quickly as well, and the user goes to Kanami. And I cannot stress this further. Shockwave EMP is very, very strong. It's absolutely clutch upgrade in the mid to late game skirmishes. And once goes out, there is a huge power spike for the Zerun player that he can really abuse to get a lot of damage.
We do see Blink DTs on the way, and that should definitely help him.
Yeah, that is interesting. It is good on this map.
Yeah, because you kind of come in through many openings or many ramps with those DTs.
Yeah.
So
Through the golden walls, like for the golden bases, you can get there by just blinking in and then blinking out. Of course, it's gonna be dangerous. There's a missile turret.
yeah,
But you can do it in the main. You can do it in the natural. Like there are plenty of positions. Of course, this sensor tower is gonna make it a little bit harder. But the main is still exposed. Probably time needs another sensor tower in the main.
Looks like he's actually gonna opt in to throw down turrets instead. But yeah, I think a sensor tower in the main would really help. Oh, these DTs almost get cut off here, and I think Time saw it. I think he might have noticed the little kind of the graphics wavy thingy that you kind of spot with invisible units.
He was moving his ghost forward to try to go for an EMP, so I think he definitely saw that. And he's expecting Shadow Stride right now. Okay, these Stalkers are gonna be cut out a little bit. One Shockwave EMP completely misses them though. So Zest is not gonna lose units for free, or maybe he is, I don't know. Zest trying to bait out the Army of Time to send these Shadow Stride Dark Temples in. There is one planetary and 2 missile turrets out right now, but Time will still need to retreat back home. The planetary is helping a lot, but these Dark Tempers are just gonna be recalled back home after getting a missile turret. Not a lot of damage, yes, but it is still a little bit of time for Zest to get to his more powerful units, to get his key upgrades. +3/+3 is gonna be extremely important, especially against Ghosts. Oh, here comes the second sensor tower. It's in the 4th base, which is also pretty good. Time catches out the Army of Zest moving with his scans, and he has a lot of tanks in a good position. This is a complete disaster from Zest, losing 2 Archons for free. The War Prism is in bad shape, and right now Zest has to back off once more. Dark Templars cannot get in the 4th as well. There is a sensor tower there. Yeah, and Zest is not feeling great right now, I bet.
I think you still dive in there on the DTs on the right top side, but decides to actually retreat back home.
Waiting to get onto the tanks, actually.
Oh yeah, I think he's trying to use the DTs to jump on the tanks, and oh man, this is probably gonna be it.
Oh, that's a good army positioning for Time. That's a very tough spot to be in. No scan gets used. Here comes the scan. Of course, the main army of Zest needs to fight with the main army of Time right here in this choke point, which is never good against so many tanks. The Immortals are still standing against these many EMPs. That was crazy, but the tanks are still dealing so much damage. It's just Stalkers against tanks right now, and this is a trade that Zest can win, but at what cost? The army of both players have been destroyed. But you know what? Time can replace his army much more quickly than Zest, and Zest doesn't have enough to strike back. This was great for Time.
Yeah, it was definitely more efficient as we look at the kind of the units lost resource tab, and I think Zest losing much more. Those tanks had so much firepower, lasted a long time, was able to get a lot of pot shots on the Protoss army. So well done there by Time, and now he's enjoying a 133 to 108 overall supply lead.
Which is mostly Medivacs right now, but yeah, he is definitely not gonna need to replace the Medivacs at least, and replacing everything else is gonna be a matter of like 1 or 2 minutes at max for Time, while Zest, like, He's now replaced all of these Dark Temples, but these have to do a lot of damage right now. They block a Planetary Fortress, which is something. These Stalkers are also trying to do a little bit of damage left and right, but yeah, Zess needs to buy a lot of time. And look at the army of the Terran player. Right now, it is already strong enough to take full control of the game. While Zess, okay, he has 2 Colossi out, he has a bunch of Dark Templars, but that's not an army that can just straight up fight the Terran army, especially since, as you were seeing in the previous fight, like the only thing that was left standing for Zess were the Immortals. And without those Immortals being alive right now, that's a very tough spot to be. Shadow Striding backwards will save these Dark Temples, but time supply is going through the roof right now. When Zess is only replacing basically Zealots and Stalkers, which are not gonna be trading equally against Ghosts, Marines, and Marauders, the Liberators are also gonna siege up. And right now, this siege spot is once more the preferred place of time to try and get some damage. These Dark Templars are trying to get anywhere close to the main army of time, but Zess setting up us around now may probably do something meaningful. One Nexus falls down, and we will see if time decides to fight. He definitely decides to fight over here. This run is great for Zess. Shockwave EMP is going left and right, but 22 probes have gone down for the Protoss player. The tanks are going to be dived on top upon, and the Liberators are going to be... The Liberator is going to be killed. Okay, this was a great fight by Zess. The Dark Templars are going to be morphed into Archons. Time once more is basically replacing all of his army back home very quickly. He has more Liberators than before, and he has these 3 Medivacs ready to hit just when Zess moves out, just to keep him honest. And that's already a lot, since time still has quite a powerful army back home.
Yeah, and additionally, Zess did lose 22 probes during that engagement. So even though he cleaned it up, he suffered a lot of economic damage. And oh, now looks like the 3 Medivacs will go ahead and dive on top of these Stalkers, and also possibly cancel this base. Yep, he does cancel this base. And now Zess, he's on the back foot.
And the main army of Zess right now trying to clash on top of this planetary has just 3 Archons as anti-air. So it means that these Liberators can just get there with the Vikings and just put everything down very quickly. Right now, it looks like Zess has finally dealt with the Medivacs. Only one of them is staying alive. But time, after the first fight, the first big fight, he was 20 supply ahead after remaxing. And right now, like, he's just going through the roof. It's like almost 40 supply ahead in army. So, gosh, this is not looking great for Zess.
Yeah, but you know what? He does have a lot of Archons. If he can kind of get a good engagement, get a kind of like a nice concave, he might be able to. That EMP though. Ooh.
Those Archons are not gonna trade that great into Liberators and Ghosts. Zess needs to find a good spot to fight in. And I still feel like it's probably about army composition right now. Not having Storm or Disruptors this late into the game is always quite of a bummer for the Protoss player. Liberators are not sieged right now. That's a good moment to strike. EMP doesn't really go on top of nothing right here. Zess got a couple Marines basically for free, but yeah, that is absolutely not enough. And right now Zess is just trying to get his economy stronger to get his higher tech units. These Stalkers trying to dive on top of one tank will get a kill. But of course, time right now is just relying on Liberators to keep the Protoss army at bay.
I'm a bit scared here for Zess. I mean, that Liberator count is getting really, really high. And we all know once Terrans get into that optimal amount of Liberators, where no matter what engagement the Protons takes, no matter how good they go in terms of the engagement, the Liberator just cleans up everything. And Zess does not want to get to that place. He doesn't have any Tempests to help
the dive of Zest on top of the main army of time. This is looking rough, actually, for the Protoss player. Everything is falling down so quickly. All of the Liberators are gone right now, though, and time needs to back up right now. There are Dark Templars getting on top of everything. He needs to try to defend right here at the planetary, where there are 2 more Liberators. But Zess with a crazy dive on top of the army of Time, will trade so much of his own army to actually finally find a good spot to put Time into the corner.
Yeah, that was really good for Zest because not only did he clear out the tank count, but he also cleared out the majority of the Liberator as well.
Yeah.
So now, Time, you gotta replenish all that.
We traded a lot of units for that. Mind this, units that is not gonna replace, like those Colossi are not coming back anytime soon. Like, it's now making disruptors, and yeah, like, of course, it's gonna be basically both planes resetting. Zest has found a good moment to strike. It's not ahead by any means, but it is something, to say the least.
All right, double medevac drop here at the north side. Zest army is a bit out of position, so he might actually lose this Nexus here.
Oh, props going down. Yeah, the workers count is now looking in favor of Zest again, and yeah, this Nexus is just gonna go down uncontested, actually. Time, which will get away as well. And meanwhile, one Liberator was almost getting the Stalker as well as a bunch of probes caught transferring from the main. Alright, what do you do here as Zest? What is your comeback plan? Because Time has been getting more resources from, constantly for the past like 5 to 10 minutes. And his army is actually maxed out right now.
Yeah, I mean, not only is he maxed out in supply, but he's also maxed out pretty much in upgrades too, right? So, what can Zest do? I think he should try to make use of that Blink DT play. I mean, in the late game, when you have enough Blink DTs to kind of just roam around and just like quickly snipe off a base, that could be his way to kind of even out the economy. He does take out the 2 medevac on the top left, so that's a start. But he's gotta have to make sure to engage this Terran army out here in the middle of the map. That's a lot of ghosts, but he does have some nice good disruptor numbers. So if he can get some good disruptor shots, maybe he can bring this back here.
Genovas were great. Look at those EMPs get on top of everything. The army of Zest is so bruised, he cannot take a head-on fight. This Purification Nova was great as well. And here comes also a Dark Temperer trying to get on the back. I actually overestimated the damage those EMPs got because Purification Novas did so much. Right now this Nexus will go down. Zest still cannot really fight it on. But this Dark Temperer counter-attack right here at the Golden Base is forcing Time to lift his structures. After getting a Nexus, he's gonna lose some economy of his own. The army of Zest is almost gonna get trapped though, and that's not great. Time is gonna dive on top of this Dark Templars are gonna blink into safety, but the tanks were positioned in a very good spot. Meanwhile, another Medivac will get 11 probes down in the top left. That's not enough since the Medivac got down, but Time, 55 workers to 35. He's mining a lot of gas. Zest is mining none. And his army is still stronger. There are a bunch of disruptors to keep him honest. But Time is once more in a winning position.
Yeah.
That's a crazy good move here at the Golden Base of Zest, getting another Nexus. What were you saying, my friend?
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say the same thing. He does find the gold base of the protons, but now looks like Zest gonna go ahead and try to go for a counter-attack. But oh no, his disruptors, his army is being split into 2. Oh my goodness, this is horrible for Zest.
And that's exactly where he didn't want to find himself for the whole game, cornered between Liberators and Bio. And finally it happened for Time. He's gonna be trading a bunch of his army for this, but he's sending more out. The army of Zest is basically irreplaceable, while Time still got plenty of resources, he still got plenty of bases, and his army is still destroying every tiny bit of production in the main base of Zest. This may look like a base trade, but Zest has basically nothing to trade, while Time can trade whatever he wants. Here comes game 3 victory for the Terran player, and boy do we have a series right now.
Oh yeah, I mean, Time played that out really well, and he's
really patient. That was what really surprised me. Like he was so patient from start to finish.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great
Yeah.
game by both though. Zest surviving really well in this game as well.
Yeah, I think it felt like the majority of the games Zest was kind of kind of a little bit behind, and but you know what? Got to give him props for making a game out of it. But in the end, Time was able to kind of pull that one out. Now he's got this first point on the scoreboard, and if he can win this next game, I mean anything goes. That's going to be a basically comes down to a best of one to win this semifinal series.
Basically, yes. Guys, if you're enjoying what you're seeing, make sure to drop a follow, make your account if you don't have one yet. Here on Trovo, we will bring to you many events weekly, of course daily as well. And make sure to be here when the action begins, because there is going to be some very high level StarCraft almost every day on Trovo and on Twitch as well. But of course, here, make sure to drop a follow, make us happy, make the players happy, and make yourself happy enjoying some great StarCraft.
All right, let's go ahead and get this started on game number 4.
Dude on Ice and Chrome. Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner is the blue Terran player. Just trying to bring it up on his side, and it's 2 more. Call it a series in his favor. Playing for KaiZ Gaming, it is time.
And spawning here at the top right, we have our red Protoss player from Raise Your Edge Gaming. Looking to close out the series. Can you do it? It is Zest. By the way, Photon Man in the chat asking why Trovo instead of Twitch. The better question is why not? Trovo is awesome. But yeah, anyhow, we are partnered with Trovo, so we're gonna bring a lot of content here to Trovo. I mean, we're still gonna bring content to Twitch and Africa TV, all the different platforms. But specifically, this event, the Alpha X Series Special, is taking place exclusively on Trovo. We do this every Tuesday at 3 a.m. Eastern Daytime, which is 9 a.m. Central European Summertime, 4 p.m. KST Korea time. So just make sure to tune in every week, every Tuesday, if you are enjoying the Alpha X Series Special.
Alright, it looks like Time is trying to go for the same build order. If it then broke, don't fix it, which is a good life philosophy to adopt. So I like for him to go once more for the 2-1-1 drop timing, while Zest is gonna be going for the absolute standard opener with Blink, which is something a little bit different from what he did in game number 3. He probably felt like his over-aggression didn't really pay off, and he's probably just gonna wait for Time to make a misstep this time, like he did in the previous 2 games.
Yeah, but looks like oh, I was thinking.
Okay.
Yeah, I was wondering if Time was gonna dive in, but it looks like he's just gonna go ahead and retreat there.
Yeah,
Oh wait, 4 gate here.
Alright, that was something I didn't expect. It is Zest, of course. He's the king of the unexpected.
Yeah, I mean, usually you see like 3 gateway with this build. 4 gateways, it could either signal 2 things. Either 1, he wants to go for a kind of a pressure, a light pressure, or 2nd, he's afraid that Time is gonna do an aggressive push, so he wants to have enough stalkers to defend against that, so that he can save his 3rd nexus, which should be presumably plotted down really soon.
feel like there is a Wood Prism coming out. It's a tiny bit late for another Nexus, and he's dropping a pylon right now. At the time, okay, he's gonna drop a Nexus. Okay. Everything is back to what Snoopy said.
Yeah, so this is gonna be a light pressure, not all in. If it was all in, there's probably 6 gateways or something like that, something crazy like that. But oh, these Stim Marines gonna get on top of it before he can get a warping in here. This does slow down a little bit of this attack.
Zest is gonna cancel that warping just in time to save his Warp Prism. He surely didn't feel that great for him, but at least he's gonna stop timing from getting some damage out of this 2-1-1 opener. The bunker is also gonna be pretty late, of course, due to the B-loader, but here counts the first tank for time. And I feel like the Terran player will just reset to a +1/+1 timing with tanks once he has enough stuff out, because Zest is pinning him right now. Time can definitely not move out. There is also this one Warp Prism coming straight for the main. Time is gonna be seeing now his units were positioned right where they needed to be, and Zest will back off for the time being as well.
So yeah, nicely done there by time. Does not allow the Warp Prism to do any damage in here. Now on the other side, we do see Zest is making his dirt base, getting his Colossus attack. Researching that Thermal Lance is going to be really important to get that Thermal Lance upgraded, because a bunch of times army composition is Marines. So if you can get the Colossus to do those pew pew lasers on those Marines, that's definitely going to help a lot.
Yeah, and with the 2-1-1, you don't get your second NG till quite a little bit later in the game. So he's gonna be having +1 infantry weapon as the only upgrade for his bio for quite a little bit. He's not gonna be having armor for at least the next 2 minutes. A little bit less than 2 minutes, but still. It is still enough time for Zest to get enough Colossi out to actually be a threat. Here Zest's Blinkstalkers are gonna be shoot back, but time will still be scouted. Zest will still know what is coming to him, and he will still pin the army count for his opponent. Here, a drop from Zest will get a bunch of units out. There is one Viking, so a bunch of workers out, sorry. There is one Viking, so the recall needs to be used. But Zest has quite a lot of army to deal with this timing from time. Of course, time trying to engage in the choke point, trying to force Zest a little bit out of position. There is one Warp Prism to set up for us to run and get on top of the tanks, but time is playing this slowly, trying to get into the perfect position. Now there is a Viking trying to keep this Warp Prism out of... Oh, that blink forward from Zest, getting the Viking sniped. And look at time, he will just go back home. Without that Viking, there is no fancies for him.
Yeah, I think with those Colossus, as well as the Thermal Lance research, I think time decided, you know what, I just don't think I could break this. But I don't know, it's kind of hard to say. I felt like maybe he could have broken it, but at the same time, maybe not. Maybe if Zest had another reinforcement warp in, he might have been able to hold, but it's kind of hard to say at that point. I mean, because time did have +1 attack at the time. Advantage over Zest, so maybe could have broken him, but it's hard to say.
I kind of have to agree with Time's decision there. I don't really feel like he could have broken that defensive stance from Zest. He could not really avoid like a flank warping or something to the likes of it, but it still feels very bad for him to back off from that position.
Yeah,
it is a spot in which he wanted at least to keep the key unit count a little bit lower from Zest. And unlike Golden Wall, it's a little bit harder on Eisenchrome for the Terran player to find some nasty spots to place his army and just totally punish Zest from not being there first.
and I think I love how Zest is playing this. He knows that. I mean, that attack from time was supposed to do damage, especially since he sacrificed his economy. He had the late third base. without Time doing anything to Zez, he's actually gone ahead and thrown down a really quick 4th and also a really quick 5th Nexus off the bat. He is macroing like a madman right now.
Yeah, he's greeding it out a lot. He knows he can do that. He knows Time. He's gonna be actually waiting for Ghosts and EMP to be out before trying to do something aggressive. Of course, the first Ghosts are gonna be out in just a little bit. Actually, they are out right now. I'm surprised Time didn't start Shockwave upgrade yet. That is gonna be very important. But yeah, okay, this move out is gonna be scary for Zez. It's gonna be very scary. But once again, he relies pretty much on army positioning. Ghosts are gonna be clutch. EMP is gonna be clutch, and without the upgrade, Zez has a way to actually deal with that. And Shadow Strike Dark Templars, here they come. In the natural, this is gonna be damage for Zez, but Time is gonna be also getting his own damage right here. Sieging up at the limit of this third base. Zez is gonna be maxed out. He's gonna be sending his Dark Templars back home to deal with the main army of Zez. And meanwhile, 17 SCVs have gone down.
Alright, Zez gotta be careful not to take a bad engagement. Oh, he does have one disruptor in his army though. Can he get a good disruptor purification hit? Oh no, the disruptor does get taken down. Viper's getting raining fire on these Colossus, but I think Zez has enough to break it.
The surround was nuts from Zez, getting every single unit exactly where it needed to be. Stalkers on the Vikings, Dark Templars on the tanks, Zealots on the bio, and meanwhile Colossi safe from anything. EMPs whiffing left and right. Those ghosts didn't get value, and the only thing surviving for Time are gonna be Medivacs. Zez will break this defense very easily with these Archons being out as well. There are 2 tanks, and Zez right now, he could just flame forward and he does exactly that. Zealots setting up as a round once more. Zez positioning is out of control. He played this game as he was a Zerg player. Zez destroying Time in game number 4. Getting into the finals with another 3-1 victory.
Yeah, like you said, playing like a Zerg, that beautiful that's the last play of the flank. Just actually really beautiful to watch. And Zez, congratulations to him. He will advance to the finals to face against Ragnarok. And yeah, it's going to be a best of 7. So that should be a pretty good game. It's going to be a PVZ, so it's going to be a little bit different for Zez. On the other side, Ragnarok did play against a Protoss, so it will be kind of a same matchup for him. But you know what? We're going to go ahead and get that all set up. Before we get started, though, let's go ahead once again. Take a look here at some of our recent favorite plays. So hope you guys enjoy it, and then once we come back, we shall get started with our finals. So don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be right back.
From Future, there is no third base on the way, and these teams are going to try to be able to snipe this Raven. If they can snipe this Raven before they move across the map, that's massive, but the Raven matters a whole lot less than it did, you know, previous games. There is no Robo on the map whatsoever here. It is just Charge Left. I mean, sure, it is 6 gates.
Oh my god.
Oh, Charge Left. That is a massive flank coming in from around here. And there we have it. Now we do have the Dorito Cannon on the front, but man, we have a massive surround here all over the place. And MaxPax looking to clean up Future as Future micros in the main base, but there's with no healing left. And what a great force field here. Now, Future up on Army Supply when this started is now heinously down as these Charge Lefts just get on top of everything that Future holds dear. And this push, well, it looks pretty stalled out.
It looks like Solar won't get any SCP. It was very lucky from Dream, I have to be honest there. Having those SCVs exactly where he needed them, and the drones have to back off because they're faster than the Marine, so they will be able to retreat. But more drones are gonna be pulled. It looks like Solar this time is gonna be trying to block this bunker from ever existing. Here attacking the bunker, gonna be cancelled by Dream. A lot of SCV, a lot of drones are put into the action though, so that's already damage being dealt by Dream. Of course, Dream as well is losing quite a little bit of time and resources for this. 2 bunkers are gonna be dropped, but there are already 3 Marines attacking this actually right here, right now. The drones are here, ready to be pulled once the first few queens and blinks are out. Here comes the pull, here comes the army, here comes Solar, getting on top of the Marines and getting them away from these bunkers. A clean surround coming from Solar. Dream gets out of that just in the brink of time he needed, but one of the SCVs is gonna fall. The second one is gonna barely complete this bunker. Good play by Dream. The first queen is out, and right now Solar has to retreat back into defensive stance, and Dream has accomplished his proxy. The bunker is in position, and the army of Solar needs to be completely pulled. He's gonna be able to deal with this by losing a lot of drones. First bunker is gonna go down right here, or maybe not. Too many Marines, too many drones are lost, too many Lings are down, and it looks like it's gonna be another GG call by Solar. Army, but still, this is a scary army, scary amount of tanks, while Patience is fully going ham on top of his opponent, trying to get damage here through the map, blinking forward on top of those tanks, and the Shadow Strike Dark Templars are getting so much damage so quickly. The most important pieces of production for Innovation are under attack right now. Meanwhile, the rest of the army of Perfect Purification Nova will get a lot of damage done. Meanwhile, another round of units is gonna be worked in by Patience to seal the deal.
All right, welcome back, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed those plays. By the way, there is a Matcherino page for this event right down below in the info section, kind of below the video player. You can see the Matcherino link as well as the coupon code, which you can use to donate and contribute 50 cents for free. Just by using the code, you just log in with your Blizzard, your Google, or your Twitch account, wherever. There's a bunch of ways you can log in. Just log in, enter the coupon code, and then contribute. That's all. It's pretty simple. And then you of course help the players in terms of the prize pool. And then you can also purchase the replay pack. I believe it's either $3 or something like that. Yeah. So all the games that you've seen tonight or this morning, wherever you are, as well as the finals, the upcoming finals, all the replays will be available for purchase. So go ahead and check it out.
We have our first map for the series. We're gonna start it off on Submarine, which is interesting. It is Zest's choice for our first map. We're just waiting for the green light from the players. Here it comes. And we're getting into our finals, best of 7, as Snoopy said before. And yeah, those 2 players have been looking so good in this tournament so far. So I'm really excited to see how they will perform in the final.
Yeah, and you know what? If you were to ask me, like in the before all the games were played, which 2 players will reach the finals, I would have guessed that these 2 players, Zest and Ragnarok, those were going to be my pick for who ends up in the finals. Now, who's going to win the final? That's a different question, but we shall see.
We shall definitely see. And before that, we get into introductions. Oh, I love this. Okay, no, never mind. We get into introductions. In the bottom right hand corner, as the blue Protoss player, playing for Raise Your Edge Gaming, it is Zest.
And spawning here at the top left corner of the map is the red Zerg player from the team of Alpha X. It is Ragnarok.
Alright, so Is this an Arch block? I love this with every cell of my body right now. This is my absolutely favorite build order in this matchup. Well, I like Proxy Edge, like the one with spines a little bit more, but I'm a crazy person, so don't mind me. I love this so much. This is so annoying for the Pearls players, and it sets up for so many different follow-ups for the Zerg player. And this comes at cost of basically nothing. Zest has been sending this probe out to block that archery. Ragnarok sent his drone out. Zest saw the drone moving out. He thought, oh, okay, it's just gonna take a third. Well, yes, but also no, because it's in your base, Zest.
Now, is that a full wall off?
Yeah, that's a little bit too much.
Oh no, I think there's a space between the two gateways. Oh, yeah, maybe I'm wrong. Never mind.
No, I think this is full wall.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, okay, there are 2 probes and a zealot. That's just enough to not let the queen get out of there. But yeah, okay, there are 4 Zerglings coming. They're not gonna do much. Ragnarok is quite strong with his Zerglings on lanes. So Zest is just playing against that a little bit blindly, which can be a good choice because it prevents that from ever happening. But it is also a little bit too conservative. Like, what's you gonna do with a full wall off if you don't even have your natural luck right now? It's not like you can go Stargate out of nothing. That's not what you can do. That, like, you're not even close to having enough gas to drop a Stargate and just call it a day, and it's so late for that as well. Of course, Ragnarok is gonna be having his natural a little bit later as well, but he's setting up a lot of units. He's gonna be probably dropping down a Roach Warren. Okay, he's dropped. Finally, Zest drops down his target, but it's gonna be a very late one, of course, for obvious reasons. And Ragnarok can easily scout it.
Yeah, he still has a drone in the main base. Oh yeah, basically he scouts it, no problem at all.
Yeah, that's no way you cannot scout this. You can also start to be a little bit more annoying since there is only one Zealot there. Yeah, that's not very far. He can drop down another archer if he wants to. Of course, it's gonna be a little bit worse for him because it's gonna be, yeah, okay, the deaths are coming. How did they come inside, by the way? Oh, they've been recalled?
Oh no, there is actually an opening here at the between the gateways. But you know what? It looks like Ragnarok for a second. I thought he was gonna go for like a Zergling all-in with a speed, but it looks like he's gonna only make just enough to defend against those 2 adepts.
Yeah, he still has quite a ton of map presence with his Zerglings being out. So it's not like Zest can get a lot of control right now with just the Stargate placings. Okay, there is one Oracle out, but let's all be honest, like, one Oracle is not gonna make or break the Zerg's game plan. You need way more than that. There is a Twilight Council incoming, which is a good follow-up, but Ragnarok has his third base ongoing. His drone count will finally go past the worker count that Zest has, and Zest cannot really get a third anytime soon.
Yeah, looks like he's gonna do a follow-up Glaive Adept timing. He's adding 4 additional gateways, so yeah, I think he's gonna go for a Glaive Adept with those Oracles and just go for a big timing.
This is gonna be hitting late. This is not gonna be hitting as
Oh.
hard. Oh, okay. Not gonna be the best trade for his bucks for Ragnarok. But he has a Roach Warren halfway through. He's fine. It's not like... I like Ragnarok position too much here to give Zest too much credit for his Glaive Adept timing. He doesn't even have a Robo out right now.
Oh yeah, but you know what? This map is pretty short, so I think you can just shade across the map fairly quickly. But no, the reinforcements was going to be late.
I agree with that, but Roach Warren is already down right now, and the lair is incoming. This is a bad spot for Zest.
Oh yeah.
He's going all in with a... Well, no, he's not going all in, of course, because he has a fullback Nexus up, and Glaive Adept is almost never a fully all-in attack. But Zest has pretty much what it takes. He's gonna be making a lot of Zerglings. How many queens does he have running? He has 6 queens. Wow. Yeah, Ragnarok is in a hell of a position right now. Like 11 workers ahead. He has the tech out. He has already a lair way before Zest has any important tech. And these Glaive Adepts right now are eating queens. There's so many Zerglings ready to chase these Adepts. Right now, Ragnarok is not even making more... he's not even making roaches. He's just making more Zerglings. He's not really scared about this. Okay, these queens are moving a little bit out of position. Zerglings are waiting for the Adepts to actually commit. They will commit with the Shade, but they will find themselves insanely surrounded. There are so many more Zerglings coming out, and Zest is gonna be losing so much army supply without getting a single drone.
Yeah, you know,
that's a bummer.
you know you're in trouble when you lose to a Mass Lings with Mass Adepts.
Yeah, that's an all oracles falling down as well. Zest falling
Oh my god.
down on every single front. There is a queen in the main as well to deal with this. Finally, Adept sitting drones. Gonna get 5. Actually, that's probably 5 too many considering how well Ragnarok has been defending against this. But now the roaches are out. Ragnarok can finally find a way to move out. There is finally the robo being dropped down by Zest. But this robo is just gonna be starting to pump out immortals as soon as possible. Because look at the march of the queens. Right now, Ragnarok has only one thing in his mind, and it is killing Zest as quick as possible. Oh, queens. Oh, yeah. Not a good position for the queens to be caught up on.
Yeah.
That is a little bit bad actually for Ragnarok. And by
Yeah.
little bit, I mean a lot. Alright, Zest getting something.
Yeah, those queens got a little bit overzealous in trying to leading the Ravagers. Unfortunately, the Ravagers were not teamed up with the queen, so all those queens does go down, and Zest kind of buys himself another lifeline.
Just after you said that, like he lost like a bunch of adepts again to the Ravagers. There are so many Ravagers. How many? 10 Ravagers. Yeah, that is not gonna be an easy game for Zest whatsoever. Like 77 army to 38. That's the supply count. These Ravagers right now are hitting Adepts. That's a fight that will never go in favor of the Adepts. They are trying to shade past them. Meanwhile, a bunch of Roaches are trying to clump back home to just deal with the Adepts. There are a bunch. Adepts are trying to shade backwards. Meanwhile, the Ravagers are hitting the third base of Zest. This base is just gonna fall. There is no actually immortal production right now. There is just one immortal out. Probes fighting Ravagers. That's another bad sign for Zest. His third base is gonna fall down. 17 probes down. That's more than he could get with so many more Adepts. There is an Hydra then being dropped by Ragnarok, and this time is perfect for the Adepts to shade in. There are just a bunch of Roaches trying to defend these Ravagers. Ravagers battling themselves actually, but here comes the rest of the Roaches dealing with the Adepts. One of them is actually, a bunch of them, sorry, is actually gonna deal with the Mortal, but there were so many Adepts, still not enough to deal with the Roaches, but all of the Ravagers were killed. The trade was not insanely good for Ragnarok, but it was still good enough to grant him a great position. Luckily enough, Zest saves a bunch of his Adepts to just try to threat Ragnarok a little bit, which is actually sending a little bit too many units back home probably to deal with this. But once again, it's 12 Adepts and nothing else. 10 drones are gonna fall down, 11 drones. How many drones you want, Zest? But you don't have a single immortal back home to deal with the interesting number of 35 Roaches. Here comes the GG, and Ragnarok will get game number 1 with a solid defense and a solid counter-strike.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen so many times Zest been able to break all the Zergs with that kind of the Glaive Adept play of a Ragnarok. He's showing today, not only just against Zest, but also against Creator in the first semifinals, that he's pretty good and solid at defending against Mass Adepts. So we'll see if Zest decides to change up his strategy, go for a different army composition. But it's going to be Zest's choice. It's going to be on Everdream.
It makes sense for him to go on Everdream. And yeah, the game was feeling like a little bit doomed for Zest. For basically ever since he tried to go for like that kind of weird Stargate into Twilight Council Glaives without Robo Transition. It was a little bit too weird all around the board. And on Submarine, you know what, like being the aggressor pays off if you have a strong fallback plan, because otherwise you just die. Like really. Once your opponent is able to counterattack and you didn't get enough damage with your own timing, with your own pressure, it never feels good on a very short mark.
Yeah, and I gotta say, I'm pretty impressed that Ragnarok, and I gotta say it's pretty smart of him to just go for the hatchery block in the beginning, because that map is so short that I think he kind of anticipated that Zest was gonna go ahead and send out a early pro for the hatchery block. But what good is it if you're not gonna go for an early hatchery, right? You're just gonna go for a hatchery across the map instead. So he's not only did Zest economy slow down because of the blocked hatchery, but also because he sent out the probe out of, to block the hatchery, the natural of Ragnarok. But it wasn't it was just basically useless because Ragnarok was not even gonna attempt that early hatchery.
Yeah. It was a very clever game by Ragnarok. But we have another one to go through. This time it's gonna be a best of 7, so this series is still far from being over. We're in the top right hand corner where the blue Protoss player is spawning. Playing for Raise Your Edge Gaming. This is Zest.
And spawning here at the bottom left, he's the red Zerg player from Team of Alpha X. It is Ragnarok.
He's doing it again, by the way. That's another hatch block coming from our very own Ragnarok. Stopping Zest on his tracks.
I love it. This time around, he's not going for any early spawning pool, so it's not going to be with early lings. It's just going to be a regular hatch block, and I assume he's going to cancel it. Or maybe he's going to let it finish and just make a queen.
I don't think he's going to be letting it finish. But I do think he's probably going to try to double expand back home. Okay, it's going to be still a spawning pool right here, which is going to be finished right before he's a natural. Once he makes it, it's gonna pop off. Which is going to be in the third, by the way. Oh, or maybe not. Yeah, he's just gonna expand in the natural. And the strength of this hatch block being this early is that the Zealot will not start hitting it close enough for it not to complete. If Ragnarok decides to actually finish this, there's gonna be a lot of creep, which is gonna be delaying the Nexus for even more time. Otherwise, Ragnarok can just decide to go for an evolution chamber right as the archery finish. Okay, let's the archery finish. So this is gonna be a full delay of the Nexus out of Zest. And what I'm predicting right now is that Zest is gonna go ham right after he deals with his archery. He's gonna go super aggressive, and he's already starting off with 2 adepts right now.
Oh, he's actually going to make the Ling as well with that one larvae. And I like that because it's going to allow him to kind of scout into the main base of the Protoss to see what is he going to go for. Is he going to go for opening Stargate? Is he going for DTs or something? It's going to give him some nice scouting information. But before he can worry about that, he's got to worry about these 2 adepts that's coming across the map.
Yeah, and it's also novel that actually being made by Ragnarok, which I find hilarious actually. There are 2 adepts right now trying to get in the natural, and one Zerg is gonna fall down. 2 adepts are still pretty scary. They can still one-shot a drone. So in the end, Ragnarok is still forced to make a lot of units, or maybe just wants to. Okay, he's making 1 drone, but I don't feel like he's actually trying to go straight up into Zergling all in. But Zest, once again, is gonna be dropping down a Stargate. And while the Oracle can be a very safe defensive option in case Ragnarok goes for something hyper aggressive, I still feel it's very hard to support a Stargate if you're naturally so delayed, because you're gonna be delaying all of your tech by quite a lot, which means if you're gonna be facing roaches, you're not gonna have many immortals once the tank comes.
Alright, looks like Ragnarok's gonna go ahead and try to dive in here. I think he might get the Zealot, but I don't think any further damage.
Yeah, I don't like it. It's not really worth it, but I mean, it doesn't really make too much of it.
Alright, Overlord does scout the Stargate, so should see the Spore Callers. Yep, it looks like Ragnarok's on top of it. Already throwing down the Spore Callers at the main base. Does not elect to throw down the Spore Caller at the third or the second base area, only because he does have 2 queens, and that's 2 queens is enough to deflect an Oracle.
Yeah, he still needs to pump out more drones right now. He still needs to have a little bit of a stronger economy to be able to transition into a strong mid game. Zest has been dropping down his robo, I'd say almost on time this game. It's not like he's gonna have a very strong economy, but he's been pumping out probes quite at a good pace. The Twilight Council is also gonna come. This could very well be a transition into Glaives or even Dark Templars. Like, Zest could still go for something aggressive. I don't feel like it's the best option, but you know what? This guy is unpredictable. And that is already a very strong thing to have. There is a War Priest coming this time. So yeah, this could be something to keep Ragnarok in his base for a little while longer while he transitions into something else. It's gonna be a Templar Archives being dropped by Zest, actually.
Oh, I like this. You know what? Because Ragnarok went for that kind of the cheeky play in the beginning, he doesn't have quite enough, gas to get the early roaches. So, for the meantime, he's gonna rely on speedlings, which Archons, the last time I checked, they do pretty well against speedlings. So I think Zest should be able to at least get some initial damage done with these Archons. Although, as I say that, the roaches are being made right now.
The lair is halfway through right now. It's probably gonna be scouted by these Warp Prism once he starts to get some damage. And there are a bunch of roaches in the making. I do struggle to believe those are defensive roaches. But right now, the Archons are gonna be dropped in the fur base of Ragnarok, finding themselves in a very good spot to deal with queens and drones alike, getting already a bunch of kills for free. This one queen is also very bruised. It will fall down actually, while the Archons survive, escape safely. And right now, Ragnarok is gonna be doubling it down with drones. Meanwhile, in the main, Oracle still getting more kills. And Zest is in a good spot. He's pinning Ragnarok in his base. But the Zerg player is not been losing that many drones for now. He's losing 6. His Infestation Pit is perfectly on time, by the way. 7 minutes is a very good timing to have an Infestation Pit being dropped against Protoss. But I do still want him to drop down some more proactive tech structures, such as the Hydra Den or the Spire.
What do you think this Infestation Pit is for? Do you think it's for Swarmhost play, or you think it's just for Fast Hive?
Yeah, it is for Fast Hive to get the Lurkers upgrade. That's most likely what he's going to go for. He already has some roaches to actually try to get some value out of the ranged upgrade. So I was struggling to think he was going to go into air straight up. This is looking similar to the game against Creator on Everdream as well. I feel like Ragnarok likes his Lurkers here on Everdream, and why not? Lurkers are so good right now.
Oh yeah, they're definitely strong.
Yeah, okay, Zest is getting some value with this. He's not getting a lot of scouting information, which is quite bad. He doesn't know there's a Hive coming. He doesn't know Infestation Pit, Hydra Den, and Lurkers Den are being dropped down. And I also feel like he doesn't really feel like this is coming. There is no Robobay, no Disruptor, no second Stargate, just Storm. And while Storm is a pretty good upgrade, alone, it doesn't really matter quite a lot. You need a second Robo or a Robobay, or even both, actually, to deal with Lurkers. Okay, Oracle's keeping creep at bay. There is something very important. I still feel like Zest is like missing a piece right here. Like his puzzle is far from being completed, and he's not really getting into it as he should. I guess so many High Templars out right now. He's gonna be dealing with everything but Lurkers extremely quickly. But there are gonna be Lurkers out, and that's gonna be a problem for him.
Yeah, especially since there's really not much to buffer the High Templar, so
Yeah.
if Ragnarok decides to get on top of it, he might be able to just snipe off all these High Templars.
And Ravagers are still a threat. Like High Templars cannot really do too much without a lot of strong frontline units like, I don't know, Archons, Zealots and stuff, because these Ravagers can just pile down the High Templars, baiting them out while the Lurkers do the rest of the damage. Even just the thing about Lurkers that people, oh gosh, this is a very strong Zealot run by right now with a bunch of units being dropped in the main. Actually, this is a good blind side by Zest, hitting on 3 different spots at one time. High Templars, of course, are not gonna get the perfect storms, but they're still gonna get these Lurkers down a little bit in health. Meanwhile, the main drop into the main is dealing so much damage. The one in the natural is gonna be cleared in a little bit. Right now, High Templars being moved back into Archons. These Immortals are very bruised. One of them is actually going to fall, while the Revelation from the Oracles is gonna be enabling the Immortals to eat these Lurkers. 17 drones have been falling down. The drop in the main is still going. More units warped in. Archons still dealing damage. Finally, those Lurkers are gonna get on top of the Immortals and the Archons, but at what cost? The third base of Ragnarok is gonna fall. In the end, Zest losing a lot of key units, while the Lurkers are still gonna be a powerful play. But Ragnarok has paid quite a heavy price for that. This Hive is very, very bruised as well. And it's gonna take very little for Zest, actually, to finish the job. Spawning pool has gone down as well. That means no queens for quite a while. And there are only 2 queens out with 3 archeries. That's another bad thing. But right now, Ragnarok can count on a very powerful army to start doing something. Zest, Robobay, and second Robo facility being dropped. And I have to say this, Zest, quite a wonderful play over there.
Yeah, 3-prong attack. I mean, he's playing like a Terran bio army. But yeah, I think this is. I mean, I feel like Ragnarok has to like at least put on some pressure, some counter pressure, because this is his kind of his opening. He has the only advantage he really has is that he has a nice army supply lead. He's behind an upgrade. He's behind on bases. I feel like he's kind of missing his opportunity to at least put on some pressure on the Protoss side of the map.
Like, I 100% agree with you. Like, for example, the kind of Nidus play he did against Creator will work wonders here, because Zest is very much starved in units right now. I love these how is this called? How are these abilities called?
Wait, which one you're referring to?
Corrupt? I think it's corrupt. Like the block on the disruptor production on the Robo with the Overseer, which is a good step forward with his Lurker count actually out-trading the disruptors. But it's gonna take a while for him to establish a good economy once more and start actually out-macroing the Protoss right now. Oh, so many High Templars as well.
Yeah, he's adding a lot of disruptors in this, so he's gonna have like 3 splash damage units: the Archons, the High Templars, and the Disruptors. So a nice little kind of combination there. But there's a Warp Prism here at the bottom. We'll keep an eye out, see if Zest decides to go for a charge lot warping. But oh, this Disruptors ball will get us some nice hit here on this Roach ball.
Oh, another good Nova. Of course, this Oracle following these Roaches closely. Right now, Ragnarok is just trying to trade those Roaches into something There are going to be 2 Disruptors, a little bit too exposed. Of course, Ragnarok is gonna dive on top of them. Good Storms are gonna stop them, but these Roaches already almost got some value out of them. That's just that supply for Ragnarok, but at least he would have liked to get something. Zest said no, and these Roaches are gonna just die for nothing.
Oh man, Zest gotta be careful. He's walking into a little bit of a kind of a concave there.
Ragnarok was insane. Look how he dodged those Purification Novas while still getting perfect damage. That was crazy well done by Ragnarok, and he's gonna be moving forward. Disruption Novas are on cooldown left and right. A couple of them are gonna hit, but of course he's gonna dodge the rest. This one is not gonna dodge it that great. But of course these Lurkers are still gonna get themselves in a very good position, concaving down the army of Zest. There are a bunch of High Temperers without energy right now, and these, well, with full energy actually, but these Lurkers are getting so much value, zoning out the army of Zest, while the Hydras are gonna get right at the third base of the Protoss player. Right now, a bunch of Lurkers are gonna be transferred over there. Disruption Novas are still gonna be used to try and deal with the Lurkers. Final Revelation comes down, and the Zealots around will start to deal with these Lurkers. In the end, it was not a good trade for Ragnarok. A good move forward, but Zest, a little bit too much stuff over there, too many Disruptors. And maybe Ragnarok too eager to do something or too slow to do something. I cannot really decide between the two.
I would say too slow, because again, he did have a really decent army supply lead. I think he missed his chance at that point. Zest pretty much macroed for a couple of minutes and was able to mass enough units to pretty much clean the Lurkers, and also really nice surround there at the end with the Zealot flank. He was initially trying to do a Zealot run by, but knowing the kind of the positioning of the Zerg, he was thinking, maybe I can get a little bit of a sandwich here, and it worked out beautifully for Zest.
Yeah, it was kind of a unique game. Went into many different directions very fast. But yeah, I do agree with you. Like, Ragnarok kind of missed the point of his game plan. Like, he was going for a very decisive game plan, and he just kind of didn't fulfill it. And when he started to do that, it was kind of too late. In the end, Zest quite able to keep his opponent on his toes for a lot of the time. And that play, the triple prong attack, was just a thing of beauty.
Oh yeah. You don't see that as often, but someone in the caliber of Zest with the APM that he has was able to execute that beautifully. And yeah, I think he pretty much won the game at that point, because Ragnarok was just economic wise, it was just in the pitfall. So yeah, let's see if oh wait, what's happening here? Zest is not accepting.
Maybe went for a drink, I don't know. Or just gonna wait until it's back. It could be a bug, like it happened something.
Yeah, I'm wondering if it's a bug or not.
I think he would have told us if it was. At least.
All right, I guess while we wait for Zest to come into this lobby here, guys, just a reminder, we have a Matcherino page for this event. If you guys don't know what Matcherino is, by the way, it's a great tool for you to use. And you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and just show you a little clip here to explain the kind of the positives, the great tools that Matcherino has to offer. So we'll go ahead and show it to you guys, and then we'll be right back, and hopefully Zest will be back then. All right, so hang around, guys.
You can visit the Matcherino page for our event and contribute in many different ways. 1. Free coupon. Click Contribute, enter the specified coupon code to contribute a predetermined amount of money to the prize pool. 2. Free sponsor quests. On the right side of the screen are various actions supported by sponsors, including retweets, Twitter follows, surveys, among other things. Click into these boxes to complete the action and add the attached prize contribution to the pool free of charge. 3. Marketplace. Products are available in our marketplace, which also contribute to the fundraising pool. Be sure to check out the variety of apparel and collectibles, as well as other unique items. 4. Donate. Clicking on the Contribute button, you're able to add funds to your Matcherino wallet and then directly contribute them to the fundraiser page. Thanks for supporting your event with Matcherino.
All right, welcome back, guys, and we are about to get started on Ice and Chrome.
Yeah, and it's an interesting choice because it was a Ragnarok choice, but we're gonna talk about that in just a little bit because it's time to get with the introductions. In the top right hand corner, spawning as the blue Protoss player hailing from Korea and playing for Raise Your Edge Gaming. He just tied up the score. It is Zest.
Oh, sorry, I thought it was a 2-1. Okay, it's 1-1, right?
Yeah, it's 1-1.
Okay, all right. Here at the bottom left is the red Zerg player from Alpha X. It is Ragnarok.
There was game 1 on Submarine, won by Ragnarok, and then game 2 on Everdream.
Ah, right.
It lasted quite a lot. That's why you probably thought they were.
All right. Once again, going for that hatchery block. It's been the MO of Zest here.
Yeah, he sent all of the 3 games. He sent out a probe immediately as the game started. So it feels like it's probably in his mind the best way to play the matchup. I have to say this has become insanely popular nowadays. Like everyone is just sending the probe out. They're doing it even in PvP sometimes. So it is also like a matter of trend sometimes. Some players, like at a certain point, they all remember, you know what is pretty good, like blocking your opponent from getting a natural very early. And let's start doing that again. And they all start doing that again. Like I remember, like in 2018, every single game was an arch block. So I mean, it works. So don't fix it.
I sometimes wonder, like, is it worth it though? Like,
yeah, it is.
I mean, I know it definitely kind of psychs the opponent out a little bit. Like, it kind of ruins their timing a bit, like just a tad. But who knows? There might be
I think it's more worthwhile to get the first adept out earlier. Like it is better, like if you want to find yourself in those ranges, like the super early lair timings, but they're less common nowadays than they were like in 2019, in which they were insanely common. So I feel like it's pretty good anyway. Even also because actually it kind of hurts the possibility of your opponent to go for something a little bit more aggressive, because you have your probe already there very early to get very early scoutings. So it kind of fulfill different purposes. I like it as a play overall.
Oh yeah, that's true. It does really. I mean, if the Zerg decides to go for like a 12 pool or so, a 12 pool or 13 pool, that could help the Protoss scout it.
And is Ragnarok just going for a full-on Zerglings all-in?
Oh yeah, he's making a bunch of lings on the production tab.
And there is a robo actually in the wall for Zest, which is going for an adept glaive timing. It can be kind of good here, but you know what? This wall is not a very powerful one. With the robo bay being in the front, this attack can be completely destroyed by Ragnarok even before it can start. That's the second wall up coming down for Zest. Ragnarok with his signature play, Zerglings all in, already bringing down the robot before he can bring an Warp Prism back into this. The cybernetic score is gonna go down. No more adepts for Zest. This is already crazy damage. With this damage, Ragnarok can just go back home and say, okay, I've done enough. And that's exactly what he's doing, actually. He knew this was coming. He knew this was a glaive at that timing. He destroyed the 7 in his core, so no adepts. He destroyed the robot, so no warp prism. Zest is in an awful spot right now.
Yeah, now Ragnarok is free to just drone up as much as he can, knowing that there is not any warp or not any big huge attack coming. And oh my god, even the 9 disturbed base as well.
That is crazy. Like Sabanini's core was done. I like that Zest immediately started to replace that, but he's not gonna have a warp prism anytime soon. Like it's gonna be so much time until he has one. So we will probably just won't go for that kind of timing. Yeah, that was insanely good for Ragnar. Also adapting to the play of Zest and backing off once he thought he had enough. Like, yeah, that was crazy good for Ragnar.
Yeah, he didn't overdo it on the Lings. He made just enough to get the damage done, which is always awesome as a Zerg player.
As a Zerg player, like what you want to do, you want always your unit to do something. You don't want to make like Lings and just not be on the map with them. That's why Zerglings are often considered like kind of bad, because you have to do something with them to actually make it worth the costing lava. And Ragnarok right now is getting map control, he's forcing units out of Zest, he's scouting out everything that is happening, he's spinning Zest in his own base. These Zerglings, even if like maybe someone could think, okay, he probably made a little bit too many Zerglings, like that is simply not true, as Snoopy said, because these Zerglings are still getting value. And meanwhile, back home, he has a lair, he has roaches starting off, he's setting up for a very powerful time.
Yeah, I think Zest, he's went for the blink upgrade. I think because he kind of almost anticipated Ragnarok to just transition into Mutalisk transition. But unfortunately for him, Ragnarok doesn't even have a Spire out on the field. He's just going for a pure Ling, Roach, and Ravagers.
Which is absolutely the right call coming from Ragnarok. Like, it is crazy to think that he went for a crazy strong Zergling's timing. And right now, he has the same workers as his opponent. And he's setting up a huge army. Like, I cannot stress forward how much damage was killing that Robo and that Sabanet score. Like, that was insane damage. Like, it was like, if we want to like go the other way around, imagine Zest sending a bunch of zealots and killing every single queen of Ragnarok. That is basically the same amount of damage.
Yeah. And you know what? Zest was actually preparing for a kind of a timing attack with the Glaive of Depths, so he also shut that down. So Ragnarok doesn't have to worry about that attack. Oh my god, the Ling slips through.
Oh, that is awful for Zest. He's gonna be using a recall. That's only 5 Stalkers though. That's not really much. These Zerglings are still gonna be a nuisance, forcing Zest to go back home. And you know what? Ragnarok decided to go for Lurkers. He doesn't even want to all in right now. He just wants to un-macro his opponent. He just wants to get more value than Ragnarok ever got. These Zerglings throughout the game has got so much value. I really cannot stress forward how much Ragnarok has done with them. And right now, Lurkerden is done, Hive is on the way, the main army of Ragnarok is still strong enough to deal with what Zest is sending through the map. But of course, these sentries are gonna be a very powerful way for Zest to get some little bit of footholds here at the boundaries of this creep in the 4th base. Ravagers are gonna buy down these force fields while the Lurkers set up for the attack. This is of course a Colossus that is gonna try to deal with the roaches, but without extended thermal lance, you don't want that Colossus anywhere close to the Lurkers. Zest trying to find a good spot to attack, but right now Ragnarok just needs to buy time. Roaches fighting these Stalkers that fleeing forward right now. Ravager's gonna pile down the force field, and Ragnarok is gonna be finding himself enough time to set up the Lurkers exactly where he needs them. There is one Purification Nova getting on top of them, and still a lot of damage being dealt by these Disruptors. But Zest, with 8 gates, he's gonna be bringing out a lot of Stalkers into this fight. More lurkers are incoming for Ragnarok. These lurkers are going to be super important to keep in the right spot to deal with the army of Zest. A very, very crazy blink forward by Zest, which is not going to be punished enough. Right now, these lurkers are still going to get some value with a good concave, but in the end, a bunch of roaches and ravagers are going to die for Ragnarok. Still not enough damage for Zest. He needs to do way more than this to actually come back into this game, and now lurkers are positioning themselves to deal with Zest moving left and right. More lurkers going on the right side here at the 4th base. A blink forward by Zest is gonna stop them before they can actually burrow, but now they are burrowed, and there are a bunch of roaches to actually help with this. These lurkers getting so much damage right now on top of the sentries as well that are gonna melt with this army of roaches, ravagers, and lurkers. A bunch of lurkers are actually gonna fall over here, a total of 2 actually. Meanwhile, Zest replenishing his stalker count. He's still gonna be in a very, very best spot right now, engaging in his chop point. Not gonna be easy. Lurkers are not really positioned. Another blink forward. We're gonna get one more lurker. There are 3 lurkers, actually only 1 right now. Very good riddance out of Zest, but these roaches are diving on top of everything. The Colossus is down, and now Vipers are also gonna be one more value added to the main army of Ragnarok. Finally, the supply of Zest is going ahead. A very good Blinding Cloud will stop the Immortal from retreating, but right now Zest is out trading his opponent. There is no more lurker out. Actually, for the Zerg player, he needs to call the GG. What a crazy comeback from Zest.
Oh my goodness, I did not think he was able to do it. He was only basically left off with a bunch of Stalkers, and we know that Stalkers are not usually the best composition against what Ragnarok has, but he somehow managed to do it. It's just somehow.
I don't know what to say, like, probably was a little bit of a misplay from Ragnarok. His lurkers were never really quite well positioned, but you gotta give it to Zest. Like, he was so behind the whole game, and he just... That was a decisive maneuver if I ever saw one. Oh, wait. What happened?
Yeah, I really like how Zest was kind of like dancing back and forth, kind of making Ragnarok split his lurker count. And so, you know, Ragnarok had to decide where to position his army. He didn't really have any like changeling out there to like scout where the army movement was. And Zest just managed to kind of do some nice micro there at the end. And I feel like if Ragnarok just sacked his base and just massed enough army, he could have been able to defend it. But he kind of his army kind of started trickling down. His reinforcement kind of started going in the line. So Zest was able to kind of pick off those reinforcements and just snowball after that.
And the blinks from Zest, like, those were very decisive. Like, I called a couple of them like crazy blinkings because they were just so reckless. But in that spot, Zest actually blocked Ragnarok from placing his lurkers where he wanted them every single time. That was a very good move by Zest. And of course, decisive maneuver, it was the only way he was going to win that game, and he did exactly that. So let's introduce exactly him right now. Here on Death Aura, leading the series 2-1, playing for Raise Your Edge Gaming. He's your blue Protoss player, Zest.
And wearing the red trunks, he's the red Zerg player from Alpha X. He is Ragnarok. Oh wait, looks like Zest did not move out a quick probe block this time around.
Yeah.
Interesting. You would think that with the acceleration zone that he would do that on this map.
Yeah, and actually Ragnarok with the drone in the natural was out there just to stop it from happening. And I know it's not much, but it's not actually a little bit of economy zest, like just the mere threat of him doing that play, and he didn't even do that. That is interesting. It's very interesting.
I think one of the drone, not only did it does it help with that, but also it does prevent the cannon rush, right? Because
Yeah.
there's a bottom area where you can just like place like 2 pylons and just block the probe from getting surrounded, and you can just throw down your cannons after that. But no cannon rush this time around. It's going to be as standard opening as you can get.
Cannot say the same for Ragnarok though. That's very very fast third archery actually, which is of course gonna play in his favor in the long run, since there is nothing coming from Zest to really hard punish that. Which is once again a very good way to adapt to how this series has been going. Zest has not been really the player who was trying to proactively hurt Ragnarok's game plan in the early game.
Do you think Ragnarok's going to go for that same mass ling attack?
I would like to see that, but I won't really believe he's going for that.
Yeah, it doesn't look like he's making enough overlords to suggest that. But we do see a Dark Shrine coming out of Zest.
Yep. That is another interesting thing. Like right now, oh gosh, I don't know about this. Like having a very early third arch doesn't really ultra delays your lair, but it's still gonna be a little bit later compared to the usual. So Ragnarok is still gonna be relying on some blind defensive spore crawlers, and not playing around the Dark Shrine is it is a possibility. It is possible that Ragnarok won't play around the chance that Zest is getting a Dark Shrine.
Well, the Overlord does scout it, so
Okay.
Ragnarok's spidey senses should be tingling, should be throwing down those spore crawlers.
Yeah, here they come. Alright. It seems I was scared for nothing in the end.
Yeah, well, I think it also has partly to do with the kind of the building placement, right? Because if
Yeah.
Zest hidden that Dark Shrine back near the back of his base, I think Ragnarok might have late spore crawlers, but seeing that he does scout it, should not suffer enough, not any damage from these these Dark Templars.
There is a Larry incoming for Ragnarok, but right now Zest of course is gonna morph these Dark Templars, well, better merge these Dark Templars into Archons.
Yeah, and that's one of the great things about Dark Templars.
They
Even
still can drop it.
yeah.
You've seen that Queen trying to attack the Archon. Okay, Zest is getting a third base right now. He's still ahead in workers. He's macroing like very good right now. These two Archons are still gonna be keeping Ragnarok on his toes.
Oh.
That was 5 drones, guys. That was 7 drones. That's way too much stuff being killed by just a simple Archon drop. That's the oldest trick in the book for the pro players in this matchup. You kind of expect this. You kind of have to not clump your drones. That's all you have to do. And Ragnarok lost 7 drones for nothing.
Yeah,
That's a lot of drones.
that was a bit unfortunate for Ragnarok. I think he felt safe. He thought he was safe, and then unfortunately those Archons were microed really well by Zest and was able to get those additional drones. So I mean, in total, 7 drones. Not too shabby.
No, nothing to frown upon. There is another Hydroden transition, but these Archons are still actually dealing damage. Not gonna scout the Hydroden. Oh my god, that was close. Alright. So Zest is still on the blind about this. I'm not sure if it's gonna be for quite a while. But it's gonna be another Lurker play coming from Ragnarok. And I feared this time Zest might be in a little bit of a better spot compared to the other game. So he doesn't really need to absolutely scout this at the perfect time. He can just play out his game plan. 7 gateways.
That's going to be a
Oh.
total of 10 gateways. He is going for a blink all in.
You think it's an all-in?
Yeah, I mean 10 gateways on 3 bases, that's pretty much an all in, I think, or at least a really, really dedicated one, because usually you will have like usually have 7 or 8 gateways, but 10, he is really committed to this one. And I think it's going to be a really great timing, because he's trying to transition to lurkers, but by the time this attack commences, there's going to be absolutely no lurkers on the field.
Yeah, and it's gonna be no lurkers for quite a while, since right now he doesn't even have Hydras out, which is kind of says a lot right now. These Immortals are gonna get so much damage. There are a bunch of Archons to deal with the Zerglings. Alright, this is looking very deadly for Zez, and here, this upgrade might just be denied from Zez. Here comes the deny. Missile attacks +1 is not gonna be a thing for Ragnarok. Right now he's making so many lanes and roaches to start to deal with this. He doesn't want to start Hydras, he doesn't want to lose Hydras. He needs his larva to make bulky units. These Immortals are starting to get already a lot of value. Now just trying to rain down the piles, but the Force Spirits are keeping so much of the supply of Ragnarok out of the fight. This is a perfect pull of Protoss from Zez. Finally, Zez will break through the last few defenses of Ragnarok. And this was another decisive maneuver from Zez, this time coming from a very good spot. And as you've seen, the victory was much, much more convincing this time. It is a 3-1 lead for Zez. It is a match point for the Protoss player.
That's right, and just a really great timing there. Also, great decision to go for the push there, or like a committed push, 10 gateways, knowing the kind of the pattern of him trying to go for the fast layer, or not fast layer, the fast hive and the fast lurkers. So he knew kind of the pattern that Ragnarok was going for the past few games, and just hit him at the right time with the +1 upgrade as well, compared to the +0 upgrades of Ragnarok.
Yeah, so many good moves there by Zez. Also, like the Archon drop dealing so much more damage than it was actually intended to.
Yeah.
You can see like he's coming very prepared for this. This matchup is absolutely one of his best. And he's been also styling or Ragnarok this last game with
Yeah, I think certainly people would say or agree that Zez's best matchup is PVZ. I think that's kind of the matchup that has brought him back from his slump. The past year he's been playing pretty well, decently, but the previous year before that he was in a slump. He didn't really had any impressive wins, and this past year he's kind of changed that with the play style, especially in PVZ.
like getting out the Glaive Adept timing first, knocking Cyril out of a semifinals. Like that is not something every player can do. But this guy, spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Eternal Empire, can certainly do this and more. He's at match point here, leading the series 3-1. Playing for Razorhead Gaming, it is Zest.
And spawning here at the top right is the red Zerg player from Alpha X, looking to stray away from elimination. It is Ragnarok. And you know what? Once again, no pro block.
Yeah, it's Eternal Empire. Not even Zest would go for a pro block of Eternal Empire. Like, only Creator did, and it worked. But like, if your opponent goes for an early arch, which is once again nothing really uncommon in the matchup nowadays, he just doesn't really do much. But yeah. Decisions. The bigger the map is, the less impactful is the decision on when you send your probe out scouting. Because it is unlikely you will get too much value out of an early scout compared to a later.
Yeah, makes sense. Alright, so these past few games, Zest has been going for a variety of builds, which I like. He's kind of changed it up. One game he will go like Mass Adepts, another game he will go for the Archon drop, another one he will go for a DT into Archon drop. It's just kind of like change it up, keeping Ragnarok on his toes. It's going to be interesting to see what build he pulls out of his sleeves in this game.
And just as he said that, he decided to change it up once more, dropping down once again the Stargate. This time it's gonna be the early Stargate, not gonna be a reaction to anything. It's just gonna be the name of his play. And you know what? The scary thing about Zest Stargate is that it's so different from all the other Korean Protoss players. Like, a Stargate from Zest doesn't even remotely mean he doesn't go for an all-in. He could very much be just all-inning you after that, which is something that is very, very uncommon. Of course, these 4 Zerglings are still gonna get some interesting scouting value. Not gonna get on top of the Stargate though, which is not that great. But yeah, Ragnarok is making a little bit too many Zerglings, and you know what? These Oracles are not gonna be that great right now. They're gonna get a Pulsar Beam, get a lot of damage. But you know what? There's also a Pylon in the wall of Zest. These Zerglings all in can do so much so quickly. This could be a GG very, very soon. The Pylon is under attack right now. Another Pylon will be dropped down behind the main Pylon in the wall right now. Of course, a lot of Scorches are gonna be made by Zest, who's also using Pulsar Beam right now, waiting for the energy to drop. Ragnarok will be doubling it up with the Zerglings, going on top of this Pylon once more. Still a lot of energy on this Oracle though. One more Oracle is gonna be chrono boosted by the Protoss player. Pylon will go down. Another Pylon is under attack to try and ping these Zerglings right into wall. Yeah, that falls down on the wrong side of the gateway. Will die immediately, even after the shield battery is done. Another Oracle has been popping out by this Stargate. This shield battery overcharged, keeping this gateway alive. What a play by Zest.
Yeah, that was a pretty clutch. It's almost just barely hold on. I mean, there's still more lanes coming, but I mean, that wall off is growing bigger and bigger, and I think Zest might have it.
I'm not too sure about that. That one Pylon is very, very low. There is another Pylon being dropped behind it, and there is one sentry also being still used. There are not many units for Zest, but they're very good at dealing with the Zerglings. Ragnarok is sending more and more units. There is only one more structure between him and the middle lines of Zest, but there are 2 force fields available right now for Zest with 2 sentries, and here they come. Drop down, one Pylon under attack. Ragnarok giving it his all. 22 more Zerglings incoming. Pulsar Beam from 2 Oracles is just too much. Zest claims the series after dealing with another Zerglings all-in from Ragnarok.
Yeah, I mean, Ragnarok just went YOLO on it. He was like, I'm down 1 to 3. I might as well go for cheese. But you know what? Unfortunately for him, Zest held that absolutely brilliantly. And he will win 4-1 and is your champ for the Alpha X Series Special 10th Edition.
And it is quite a well-earned and deserved prize. He played insanely today, like deserving every single game he won, coming back from very, very bad situations, very bad scenarios, and overall playing, even the games he lost, I felt like he played like a total champ. So hats off to Zest for showing us his best StarCraft today and deserving the first place.
Yep, GG's, and yeah, thank you everyone for tuning in and watching and supporting StarCraft. Remember, guys, there is a Matcherino page. Once again, just a reminder, there is a coupon code right below the Matcherino link as well that you can use to donate 50 cents for free. And also, if you want to do sponsor quests on the right side of the Matcherino page, you can do those quests to contribute additional funds to the prize pool. Bitterwood saying thanks for the cast. You're welcome. Thank you for tuning in, and hope you guys enjoy the games. Any last words, Anconti says, before we wrap this up?
You said it all. Like these have been some great games. Thank you to all who stayed with us throughout the whole tournament, and of course to the players and to Alpha X as a whole. So if you like this, guys, make sure to drop that follow. We're gonna be back next Tuesday with another 4 players lineup for the same tournament once more. Every Tuesday we're gonna bring some more content here on Trovo, and every other day there's gonna be much more StarCraft for you to see. So make sure to drop that follow and be here once we get more high level StarCraft running on this stream. Thank you everybody for being here.
Yep, thank you. Absolutely. All right. That wraps it up, guys. Hope you guys take care. And until next time, hope you StarCraft hard. All right. See you next week. Bye.
See you guys.